Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy draft day, my friends. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. If you missed something, it's all right. All 3 hours are going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. Upon the conclusion of the program, you can email us if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at JCameron Show, WTSM app for mobile devices, on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee to watch us perform the duties. So who goes number one overall to Cleveland? Do they take Josh Allen? Do they take Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen? Do the Dolphins move up? There is chatter within the state that the Dolphins would like to move up to acquire one Josh Rosen, which not a bad pick. We were talking during the break that, before we started the show, I guess you could say, moments before we started the show, that would be a heady quarterback going to a heady coach. And I think also Rosen strikes me as the kind of guy that would succeed in South Florida. Temperate climate, like what he's used to.
Correct.
Again, big city. He's used to that. A smart guy. I think he would do well there, and we'll see. Now, I don't know. Have they? That would certainly signal that they've given up on Ryan Tannehill.
Yes, and see what they could get for him. Maybe he would be part of the package to move up if they were to do that, go that route.
Well, Gase would have to look at maybe giving up a couple of first-rounders in their 2018 second-round pick to get up to where they need to go to get Rosen.
It's just that makes so too much sense, though. It makes too much sense for the Dolphins to
they
get.
They move ahead of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to do it is a lot of what these projections are.
That's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
The more quarterbacks that go before 7, the better off we are.
Well, I mean, by the way, as we sit here right now, 1, 2, 3, 4. My guess is 4 quarterbacks, maybe 5 before the Bucs draft at 7. That's, again, people in this league are quarterback starved. They convince themselves as the weeks pass that even quarterbacks that they weren't in love with a month ago are the can't-miss prospect they need. Because when you don't have a quarterback, you need a quarterback. And when you need a quarterback and you hear the chatter and the buzz for weeks on end, you are left to second-guess at times what your own player personnel people say. It takes one over-anxious coach, one over-anxious GM, one angry, meddling owner to pull the trigger and say, nope, we want Mitch Trubisky, and we'll move up to get him. Huh? What? We don't have to move up to get him. I said get Trubisky. Okay. We'll draft Mitch Trubisky and move up to do so, sir. I mean, that's all it takes, right?
Yeah, well, actually, was John Lynch was at 2 last year, right? So, John, this is Rich. I've been told to make an offer to you for the 2nd pick.
Okay.
Rich, you're picking 3.
You're picking 3.
I'm aware. What would it take?
Everything you have, John. I mean, Rich.
Okay.
It was yeah.
John, I want you to know next time we talk, this isn't not my idea. Just, I get it.
It would be awful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that would be awful. I mean, we saw a little bit in Moneyball and baseball in general this happens, and the draft is so much larger, and there's so much time spent and so many levels of minor league baseball, and you draft kids out of high school and all these things. I got you. But, man, when you have, it's your job to assess these players, and you certainly know your team's needs, and you go about the process, the interviews, the one-on-ones, the personal workouts, the combine, the hours upon hours of watching film, and you walk into that room as a guy who's spent his life in the league as a player evaluator. You've had a multitude of successes, and you say, listen, Sam Darnold's just not right for us. I don't know. I don't like this, and this, and whatever it is. And they go, okay, well, what's your suggestion? And you go, well, it's Josh Rosen, and I'll tell you why. And you give them, as I said, a litany of reasons that you should go that route. And then in steps an owner and goes, I disagree. We're going with Baker Mayfield. Whoa. We weren't deciding between Baker Mayfield and Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold. It was Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. Baker Mayfield is not part of our – no, we excluded him months and months and months ago. Remember we had this conversation? He's not what we need here in New York. We're going to go – and here's why. Right. we're taking Baker Mayfield. What do I do? Why am I here? What the hell are we doing? Like, that's got to be the worst feeling in the world. I mean, it's not your money. There's nothing you can do about it. It's what happens. You've done your job. And
you're going to fire me because he sucks in 3 years.
I guess.
Can I have it in writing that you won't fire me because of Baker Mayfield's failures? You know?
It would be brutal.
Yeah.
I get it when it's really the gray area where it's difficult. I mean, I will admit, if Sam Darnold gets a little more consistent, I mean, body type-wise and all that, he could end up making it. I think certainly has a better chance than –
well, and he's only 20. That's the other thing. We haven't
thing.
talked about that this week, but his age. I mean, he's getting such a head start on the job training. You're assuming some things. There's no doubt. You assume things about every draft prospect, but you're assuming a lot more with Darnold than you would be Rosen. But his age would be a compelling factor in saying, my God, by the time he's 23, 24 with the on-the-job training, if you're the GM who drafts him, though, you have to say, remember that. Remember what you said tonight.
Yeah. Oh.
You're willing to go through the ringer here for 3 or 4 years because I would like my extension when it's up in 2.
So the Dolphins are talking about maybe moving up to get Josh Rosen. Jacksonville doesn't. Yeah, they've hitched their wagon. They got their guy at the quarterback that you. Okay. I don't know why, but maybe
the Chris Sims experiment, obviously that they were doing over at Le Batard. Put Josh Rosen on the Jags this year.
Yeah.
That would probably be enough, wouldn't it?
The problem is, I don't like putting a rookie. Well, that's not necessarily true because you're not going to ask him to do a lot.
No, you're giving him somebody who can tote the rock 20 to 25 times a game.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Jacksonville doesn't have a first-round pick, though. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think they do because you don't hear anything about them right now anyhow. So the other, obviously, state team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're sitting pat at 7 right about now. Now, Charlie Campbell going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com, year in and year out, joins us, does his homework, does an exceptional job of covering the draft, produces a mock, has a new one out today. Go to WalterFootball.com to see it. But we've grown with Charlie over the years, or he's grown with us, as he used to be a guy that covered Tampa Bay. He's got connections there, went on to cover the entirety of the league and does his due diligence. He'll join us 5 o'clock hour, long form. Can't wait. We'll talk all about the FSU prospects. Obviously, we know what we all think is going to happen with Derwin James. He's a no-doubt first-round pick. It's just a matter if he's top 15, top 10.
Sorry, Jacksonville does have a pick. They're at 29, though.
Okay, so I knew they were
a lot of dominoes falling between.
A lot of things happening. Then we'll see. I think what gets interesting now, you won't see this tonight, but does Josh Sweat go as high as the 2nd round? There are teams that like him, that have brought him in. There are teams, the Dallas Cowboys like him an awful lot. That would be surprising given what he did here or didn't do here. I have nothing against that kid. I always liked him, actually. Liked him a lot. He was an interesting cat to talk to. You said something the other day I want to address on Josh Sweat. You said you're not sure he likes football. And here's what I think on that. And I know why you said it. I think he likes football. I just think he likes a lot of other things more. I don't think there's like a dislike for football. I just think he enjoys teaching and reading and history and other things more than football. But it doesn't mean he doesn't like football. And there is a difference.
Well, and is it speaking out of school to bring up some of the things behind the scenes with Josh that you learned over the years? Or do we leave that be?
No, you can bring it up.
Well, he was well aware that he is the ticket for
there's a lot of weight that comes with that. That's tough.
Yeah, that is tough. He was well aware that he was going to be the one who kind of elevates the family into a comfortable position, and that pressure had been made clear to him early in life. So perhaps that's why liking the game enough but not loving it seems like a job. But in talking to him, I asked him years ago, what would you do?
Did he say be a history teacher?
He would love to be a history teacher.
That's awesome.
He loves American history.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get that answer from a blue chipper who's he's never been told he sucked at anything in his life? Mm-hmm. Usually those guys eat that up and they're all about the game that gave them the fame. Yeah. But not Josh.
I'm also really intrigued. I know there are other Florida State draft prospects. We'll ask, by the way, Charlie Campbell where he thinks all of these guys will go. But I'm more intrigued, not by Tavares McFadden, who we know has fallen quite a bit. Maybe I'm a little intrigued by Noddy. See if he can get in that top 3 rounds. That'd be nice. I like Derek Noddy. Auden Tate's the one. Auden Tate. What do teams make of Auden Tate? You and I like Auden Tate at the next level. Possession guy, big body guy. Going to help you in the red zone an awful lot. But, not a blazing guy. Obviously, didn't run fast time, and people get scared by that. But I get more scared by receivers who struggle to catch the ball but run 4.3 40s than I do guys running 4.6 who catch the ball.
He catches the ball. It's a durability concern. He's had upper body, lower body injuries. That would be the thing that scares me most about him. But he has all the heart in the world. He's developed here, which means he has a commitment to the game.
Yeah.
And he's played in some big moments and answered the bell in those big moments. He goes over the middle. I mean, what more do you want from that guy? Think about the Wake Forest game and the way that finished this season.
Yeah.
You have Gavin going over the middle.
His arm is falling off.
He's got basically the robot, device to keep his shoulder in place. And he makes a contested catch over the middle of the field in a situation you have to have with a freshman quarterback,
catch, I might add,
all the way down the field. Mm-hmm. And you have a situation earlier in that game. I forget if it was Campbell or Gavin, so we'll just say both, and it's one of them.
If it was Campbell, it's a rare sighting.
Goes over the middle. He was there for like a moment.
Yeah.
Goes over the middle, has a chance to catch the ball, and they get lightly tugged and don't come up with a tough catch in traffic. But then there's your hurt player making the
toughest of catches.
That
I completely agree.
Oh, my God. You can't duplicate that. You can't teach that. That's just a desire, and he's got it.
Cleveland go quarterback, then running back with 4, or is it Saquon Barkley going number 1 overall, and they'll await to see what the Giants and Jets do before deciding on quarterback? Buffalo sticking with quarterback, perhaps Sam Darnold or whoever it is Cleveland doesn't take. I mentioned the Dolphins. Bucks could get a crack at who they really want, which is Quentin Nelson. If he's not there, probably take Derwin James. The Bears, vice versa, same type thing. They don't get Quentin Nelson, they'll take Derwin James, or perhaps they'll take Roquan Smith, the linebacker, but if they can get Quentin Nelson, they'll have him too. Very fascinating draft here in the top 10. A lot of movement. A lot of people predicting tonight could get really silly. We love that. We'll be at Bumpa's. Come see the draft with us tonight. First round. Going to be hanging out from about 7:30 to 10 o'clock tonight, enjoying 75-cent wings, $3 domestic bottles. Should be a great time. Food's great there. Atmosphere is great. Tons of television. No matter where you sit, you're going to be in good shape.
It's a nice open setup, too.
Yeah.
It breathes. I mean, not just the outside to the inside, but you got some space to operate there.
We hope to see you there. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Our Own Utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, Our Own Utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, Your Own Utilities.
Monster Jam! There's only one event with high-octane energy, heart-pounding action, and non-stop excitement. See Gravedigger, Scooby-Doo, and more. Presented by official partners, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses, BKT Tires, and your Southern Ford dealers. Tickets start at $15. Restrictions and additional charges may apply. Coming to Donald L. Tucker Civic Center at FSU, April 28th.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
FSU football posted a Instagram sort of draft 2018 NFL draft post in which they said tonight at Derwin James will add to the legacy of DBU. And there are immediate comments following it. How ridiculously salty is this? Tavares McFadden posts, he's not the only one from FSU getting drafted, though. And then from there, Lane to Live, and I've got to believe that's Ermon Lane, writes, thank you. Was he not well received in that locker room?
Who, Derwin?
Yeah. Is that just pure jealousy? I mean, that would strike me as jealousy. Even if you felt that way, I might note you wouldn't post that. That's
no,
just dumb.
It's just, well, it's about tonight. Are you guys getting drafted tonight?
No, they're not.
Oh, well, Derwin is.
One of those guys isn't getting drafted at all. The other one is, and by the way, I'm not rooting against those guys.
No, Ermon's a good Knoll, man.
Well, yeah, I don't have any personal animosity towards any of these guys. They didn't do anything terrible. I mean, obviously, McFadden had an awful year. Yeah. An awful year.
This is true, yeah.
But I don't personally have a problem with him other than, on the field, he was awful this past year. Mm-hmm. Awful, Tom.
Yeah.
Difficult to watch. Awful.
It doesn't say this weekend, the post. Does it say tonight?
No, I'm going to read the post again to you. It's really weird. So they posted, tonight at Derwin James will add to the legacy of DBU. And it has NFL Draft 2018, has the shield and all that, and then has a picture of Derwin. And then underneath it, there are at the time I looked at it, it's 29 comments. And Tavares McFadden posted, he's not the only one from FSU getting drafted, though. And then Lane to Live wrote, thank you to Tavares McFadden.
Well, I mean, perhaps Tavares is just saying he's not the only one. We're going to be, more this weekend. But if
it doesn't come across that way, does it?
Well,
it comes across a little salty.
It does. The written word I'm finding, especially electronically, I think we all assume the worst is meant by whatever is written in an email, a text, a tweet, an Instagram post.
Always. This is why the age-old discussion of taken out of context exists. I mean, go back to when writers would quote athletes, and an athlete would say something sarcastically or intentionally, involving hyperbole or something in which they're making a point. And some writers wouldn't do a good job of noting context. They wouldn't say, he said jokingly or, tongue-in-cheek or whatever. And then it gets written. And when you just read it, I gave an interview years and years and years and years ago to a guy at the FSU. And I made a joke. This is how long ago it was. It was a joke about, it was a joke, something to do with Florida State's offense, but it wasn't specific about like Jeff Bowden. It was. I don't remember what it was.
A joke about Reconstruction in the South.
It was a joke about the offense, but I literally was joking, and I was kind of half making fun of the more over the top fan, and I kind of played it up in that way. And the person writing the piece didn't didn't note that, didn't give the context. And I laughed when it came out because it ruffled a few feathers. And anyhow, what I remember most about it was I'd like, oh, well, now I know what athletes feel like when they constantly say things have been taken out of context, because this was taken out of context.
Yeah, maybe cliche, but if you say, Smith said with a wry smile, there you go.
Right. It's very easy.
Grinning. Everybody. I mean, these are the same tactics that most people use, but at least it gives you a clue as to the fact that, maybe he's not being literal.
On that, on my particular timeline, if you will, the post from NCAA baseball was directly underneath it. And you know how this works. It's not the actual timeline or whatever. I've learned now enough to know that these things come out. Every time I think something is current, if I don't double check it, I realize, oh, this is from 23 hours ago.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. But anyhow, NCAA baseball posted that in 2008, Throwback Thursday 2008, FSU baseball's Buster Posey took home the USA Golden Spikes Award. And, of course, we remember the Posey era fondly, and it's a picture of him hitting a lengthy home run against Wichita State, a game I attended, and I thought of two things because that was in the regional. It was 115 degrees outside. I can still remember specifically sitting in the stands with my buddy Eric Vondage and thinking, my God, we're going to die. We're going to die. It's this hot. And then B, they put the numbers, and I had forgotten that Buster Posey that year hit 464 with 26 home runs and 93 RBIs in a college baseball season.
Yeah, and all of those home runs were when we had to have them, too.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Seldom were they just random solo shots in a 15-run game. They were always huge.
It's funny how the memory works, right? And sometimes research shows it's even fake.
A lot of research shows that you absolutely. It's amazing. You add a lot of things to memories. You also forget certain elements of them. You confuse timelines. You mix incidents. Yeah.
But what I can tell you, at least my mind is telling me, that on that day, for that weekend series, we stayed at the house because it was so hot, but we had the door open.
Ungodly hot.
Yeah, we had the door open to the back deck, which was a nice, sizable back deck, but I can hear the air conditioner. It had a certain sound to it,
I like
and as soon as you said that, I could hear the sound of the air conditioner.
Well, that's why music is so great. We talk about that all the time. You can hear a song from an era, and you can remember a lot of times the surrounding elements. You can remember where you were the first time you heard it, especially if you like that song, the people you're with, especially if you enjoyed yourself with those people, and or if it was a traumatic experience. You can remember your friends, the car, whatever it was you were doing. Yeah, it's funny. I can still remember thinking as I looked at my baking thighs, I should have worn longer shorts. Like they were to the knee, but when you sat down, they crept up a little bit above the knee.
Yeah, all the way to the boys, right?
Not quite like that. That's what I'm wearing today.
It's like We Are Marshall.
but they were, oh, buddy, we called them hoe pants. We used to wear those hoe pants. When we had to practice, when we were doing 2-a-days, you had to wear the short shorts.
Yeah.
But everybody did back in the 80s. We called them hoe pants. And I remember we had a kid on the team named Billy Swain, and we were running, and William Floyd would always – he would get under Billy Swain's nerves, under his skin, because he would be like, boy, Billy, looking good in them hoe pants today. And Billy was a bit homophobic, would get very frustrated. Stop it, Floyd, stop it. William would jog back, while we were doing the run, and those pants were ridiculous, and we would all be buckled over in laughter trying to run around the field, knowing that Billy was getting this angry, and that Floyd knew it too, so he kept saying something.
Stay in front of me.
Yeah. Oh, he would do all kinds of things. So as we're turning the corner, oh, look at him turn the corner. Look at him. Look at that pants. Oh, those hoe pants, Billy. And it was hilarious. We would all be cracking up, but not Billy. He didn't think it was funny.
But what's he going to do?
Well, that's right. That's right. What's he going to do other than be angry?
What you going to do, brother?
That was the end of that. No, these pants weren't like those pants back in the day. But nonetheless, that sun was coming down on those thighs, and I thought, I'm going to die. These are toast. They're burnt to a crisp. I'm going to have cancer of the quad. There's no getting around this. And I remember because that was a compelling series.
Yes.
And
unfortunately compelling, but we got through it.
Yeah, we did. And anyhow.
Old Jack Rye and Buster Posey.
Whew. Those guys were great. But 464 with 26 bombs and 93 RBIs. I mean, that happened with the new bats. People don't have seasons like that anymore. The new bats have rendered stat lines like that obsolete, thankfully. I mean, people don't need to be hitting. He was a special kind of great, and he has been.
Whatever the numbers were relative to the era, you go, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter when he would have played, you would have seen eye-popping numbers. But good Lord, 464, 26 bombs, 93 RBIs. That one, I still remember the one he hit against Wake over in Jacksonville in that cavernous ballpark they have over there that he hit to straightaway center. That just, good Lord. Nobody hit the ball there, or that far or there. And he hammered it. Well, that's one of many great ones. Grand Slam against Florida in the regional, all that stuff. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Bumpus Local 349, finally our first event together. Oh, I've pined for the days, and now it begins. With a draft party to boot. That's right, it's time to fire up the draft party with 97.9 ESPN Radio. We'll cozy on up to the bar or the deck at Bumpus. That's 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast, but you better know it as Calico Jack's, right? The old one. Enjoy 75-cent wings all night long. If you ask nicely, my man Eddie will give you a free bear hug. Tom also told me to tell you to try the giant pretzel. He's got a problem. We'll see you there Thursday night for the NFL Draft at Bumpus.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. For the first time, the NFL Draft will be held in an NFL stadium in Arlington, Texas, at the home of the Cowboys. 20,000 fans will be there when the draft starts tonight. The Browns hold the number one pick right now, followed by the Giants and the Jets. Our first-round coverage of the draft starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Quarterback prospect Josh Allen is apologizing today for a series of offensive tweets that he sent out when he was in high school. Allen says he was young and dumb. Plenty of quarterbacks available tonight. At least 5 figure to go in the first round. ESPN NFL analyst Matt Hasselbeck.
Josh Rosen is the quarterback that I think is
the guy to draft in this draft, especially if you're Cleveland. Now, I've not heard anybody say that Josh Rosen's going to Cleveland, but for Cleveland, you got to think about, okay, who do I know can play at the next level? Who do I absolutely know can be a starter for a long time? And for me, you look at the tape, it's Josh Rosen.
Matt Hasselbeck on Golic and Wingo. Jaguars owner Shad Khan wants to buy Wembley Stadium in London. The Jags have played one regular season game in London each year for the last 5 years. Back in 2013, Khan bought the London soccer club Fulham. In the NBA playoffs, the Celtics and Bucks play Game 6 tonight in Milwaukee. Boston leads that series 3-2. The city of Boston today approved a plan to remove the name Yawkey Way from the street just outside Fenway Park. The street was renamed more than 40 years ago to honor longtime team owner Thomas Yawkey. But with Yawkey in charge, the Red Sox were the last team in baseball to hire a black player. The street will now revert back to its original name, Jersey Street.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, by the way, I almost did something today that I've heard about others doing, and it is kind of strange to me. But I'm a hugger, Tom. I'll give you a good hug, especially if I think a hug is warranted.
Especially
I'm
if you're
afraid.
a stranger.
Well, that almost happened. That's where I'm going. I
Oh,
almost
sorry.
happened today. No, it's okay.
Screw me.
No, but let me explain why. It's kind of funny. I actually felt compelled. It almost happened. But yeah, if I know you and think you to be a decent lad, I'll give you a hug.
You get that from your dad.
Yeah, we're huggers in the Cameron family. Okay, my kids, my boys, we hug all the time. I'm forever hugging Bryson Clark.
They've got great hugs.
They do.
They're already quite good at it.
Oh, I'm always hugging them. They get tired. Dad, good Lord. They have to hug me every morning before they leave for school, and they hug me every night, or I hug them in their beds before they go to sleep. And then there's all kinds of hugs in between when we see each other. So it's just a hug fest. I'm forever hugging. But it's funny because my youngest loves my hugs, and he doesn't ever want it to stop. He'll just come over and be like, Daddy, and he wants me to hug him the whole time. It almost gets annoying. But Bryce is getting to that age where it's like, all right.
Dad, I am not Tim Tebow, and you are not Gary Danielson. Enough.
But today, I had to go to a certain pet store to pick up some crickets for our bearded dragon that Bryce has, Major Tom. And so before going out of town tomorrow, I was going over there to pick up it's Paramount time. You got to have crickets for the bearded dragon.
How is the bearded dragon?
He's doing good. He's getting big, and he's friendly as all get out. I like him.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
They're super friendly.
They're really friendly. He
Yeah.
just sit on my shoulder. I walk the neighborhood with him sometimes. He just sits on my shoulder. Yeah, I do. It's true. If it's really warm and sunny out, because they love that, I'll put him on my shoulder, and we'll go for a long walk, and he doesn't move. He'll just sit there the whole time.
Yeah, it's wild. My oldest niece got a bearded dragon. They get one when they're 10. And so, this thing is loving as hell.
Oh, they're friendly as can be.
Right. You're thinking it's going to, kind of
bite you or something. Yeah.
Slither around.
No.
It's chill.
I love him. And I didn't think I would. Bryce had wanted that thing forever, so it was his birthday. I guess, that was a year ago. It was his birthday, and I went, all right, well, I'll do it. You know me, sucker. Wasn't cheap. I had to get the terrarium and all the other stuff to go with it and all that nonsense. And I'm not fooling around. I'm not getting you some tiny-ass terrarium. We're going where you have a living space that I feel like you're comfortable in. So I went and got this Mac Daddy.
Yeah. No hostel here.
No, this is a nice place. That thing, I could fit in this thing's terrarium. But anyhow, so he's got a nice terrarium. He's got a good setup. And then you have to get the accoutrements and all that. And then, of course, I get the lamps. And so it's good. But I went to get these crickets, and I walk in today to get them. And I've become a pro with crickets, too, by the way. I can handle I've actually grown to like the crickets.
Oh, so this...
Dumb as a post, these crickets.
Yeah.
They drown themselves. They drown themselves. They don't understand that they can't go in the water. So you have to get this other kind of water that's more like gel that allows them to hydrate themselves so that they don't drown themselves.
Yeah.
That's how damn dumb crickets are.
But you've liked the crickets. So
so I like the crickets.
So you don't like the feeding process. That bugs you?
Oh, no, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't care if they get eaten. They're crickets. They're idiots. But I'm saying, I mean, literally, they're mindless things. It's the whole thing with insects. It's about reproducing in mass because you ain't going to be getting by on stealth. It's about quantity. So I'm serious. They kill themselves all the time doing dumb stuff, which actually makes me chuckle and makes them somewhat endearing. I'm like, oh, look at this cricket. He hung himself over here. Look at that. He didn't know what he was doing. He got involved in the trees over here. They'll be turned sideways. It's just dumb. They're dumb. So I went to go buy these crickets, and this lady looks so beleaguered. You ever just catch somebody? It was early this morning, where it's the wrong time of day. I don't mean like life-altering bad news, or she probably wouldn't have been shopping at the store, but she looked like she'd had a rough go the night before, and she looked a little lost, and she had this giant cup of coffee, which I really appreciated, but I could tell she needed that giant cup of coffee.
Message received.
Oh, yeah. I saw the whole thing. It was written like a map, man. It was all over her face. And she just looked frustrated, and it had already been a tough day, and she hadn't been able to wolf down enough coffee, and she was tired. I don't think she slept well last night. She was on an errand that she didn't want to be on, and she was a little confused as to what she needed to be purchasing, and perhaps her husband was a jerk. Something was happening. I could see it. It was all right there. And she looked at me, beleaguered as she was, and I've been in a great mood all day. It's draft day, Tom. I mean, it's draft day. We're talking to Charlie Campbell later today. I'm in a good mood. I knew it's good. We're going to be at Bumpus. Good
Going
time.
to Bumpus,
yeah.
damn it.
It's all good here. I literally was that annoying guy that's like walking through the halls there, whistling away, just happy as could be. And so the stark contrast of me just as I'm going towards the crickets and her with this life. I don't know. That's the look. And I stopped, and she looked at me, and I looked at her. She was a little older, and she just had that look, and I go, good morning, ma'am. And
so you're rubbing it in.
No. I was trying to snap her out of it. And she goes, oh, good morning. And she was like excited that somebody said hello.
Yep.
And I go, how are you? And she goes, oh, I can't complain. And I go, okay. And I was about to hug her. It would have been very weird.
Yeah.
Admittedly. Yeah. But I was disarming. It wasn't, I don't think it would have been thought of in a creepy manner. Or,
sure.
But I was just going to be like, well, all right. And give her kind of like a bro hug, just kind of like a, pat on the back. But instead, I just kind of patted her shoulder. I go, all right. Well, you have a good day. And she goes, well, thank you. And she smiled and she moved on.
There you go.
And then I went and got my crickets, and that was the end of it.
Impacting lives, not just on these airways.
That's right. We do everything we can, even in the hallways of pet stores in the early morning hours.
This happened to me a couple of weeks ago, something very similar.
You almost hugged somebody?
No, I didn't almost hug somebody, but just saying good morning and being attentive, and somebody flips.
Yeah, it's the best. It works. It actually does work. It does work.
So I was getting my hair.
They're in their own stuff, man.
Right.
They're up here. They're domed.
Well, and I saw this. I could see it from a mile away. So I was getting my hair cut. I won't tell you where, but, this person was done with the guy before me. And you could tell this guy...
He was not nice.
Yeah, he was
indifferent.
He was either indifferent or not nice, or a little bit of both. So the experience of going to the register and getting everything cleared
dealing
up,
with stuff in a service industry can be tough.
I'm detecting there's tension here between
these two,
the service provider and the customer.
That's right. He didn't appreciate the work being done.
And the long look on the face, beleaguered, same kind of thing.
It's the worst.
And so my name is called. I say hello, and they say, well, how are you? I said, well, excuse me. I'll rephrase that. She said, you're on chair this one. I said, well, how are you today? You doing all right?
Oh, there it is.
And it was just like a light bulb. You pull the string.
I've got a civil, kind-hearted soul.
Hey, and we're laughing and chuckling on the way out to the register when I'm done.
There it is, like that.
So the guy after me, you got a better haircut because of me, pal. You're welcome.
And more importantly, you cheered her up and gave her a renewed faith in humanity.
Probably.
One that was temporarily shaken by this ass's behavior.
We talked music. It was great.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Usually you can find something, just a little something in there. Now, not always. There have been those disastrous efforts of mine in the past where I've thought, I could bring something out, and it's just not going to happen.
It doubles down.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, so you can't be bothered with being, reasonably kind? Okay.
Your conscience was clear, though, wasn't it? At that point, well, I can't help you.
Yeah, I did my part. I did what I could. And here's the thing. I get it, man. Everybody's going through their own thing. I don't pretend to know what everybody's going through. I get it. There are days that I'm inward, withdrawn, whatever that might be. And sometimes you just want to be thinking about other things. But this one, I could tell she needed just a little. And I think she'd have let me give her a hug. And I don't mean it again. I don't mean it in a creepy way. But I could have given her a hug and been like, all right. And she would have been like, okay.
Isn't it the worst when you're with somebody who does the opposite? They're bringing somebody down, and it's not even personal. They're just, their attitude brings somebody else down.
I got no time for that.
Like an example in the service industry. We were somewhere, and this waitress asked somebody we know, what was again that you wanted with this particular order? What did I say?
Yes, I remember that.
And I'm at the table. You're at the table.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Well, what do you?
I mean, why would you do that?
Well, now we're all going to get treated like a-holes, and our food may be messed with across the board.
And really, why is there ever a reason to do that?
No, this is a small detail.
No,
now,
man.
If you say it twice and the order comes out different, that's one thing. But let's go easy here.
Yeah. Hey, I was a waiter.
Right.
I've done waiting.
Yes.
I was a bar back. I
was a bar back, and I did some waiting for a specific table because they hated the waitresses.
It can be a tough go.
Yeah.
It can be a tough go. I mean, you are being a waiter or a bar back. I mean, it's
what did I say?
Yeah. What do we do here?
Come on, man.
Anyhow, I don't know if that lady's a listener or not, but I hope her day was brightened just by a simple good morning. And I got my crickets, and the lady was delightful, and I went home, and I fed the bearded dragon, and I came into work, Tom. That's how my morning went. That's a good morning.
Well, she called her husband, and she said, not everybody's a miserable son of a like you. Because this guy, Bucks fan, I'm going to be a Bucks fan for life.
There you go.
I'm
converted.
Shirt.
See, Tampa Bay? I'm doing the right thing for you. Was it a goaltend or not, LeBron James? I don't care, and I'll tell you why momentarily. Jeff Cameron, Show 97.9, ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
For me, but probably for you, over 25% of new ED cases are guys under 40. So what do you do if you suffer from ED? Go to 4hims.com, the wellness brand for men, so you can look good, feel good, and perform well in the bedroom. You dig? Thanks to science, E to the D can be optional. Say, man, don't be embarrassed. Guys should take better care of themselves. Look good, feel good, live good, like me. It's $5. $5 to try it out, man. And it comes right to your crib. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Go to forhims.com/love. FORHIMS.com/love. forhims/love. Go.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
With a fresh young roster and some dynamic ball players, Atlanta Braves baseball is ready to roll into 2018.
The 3-2 pitch, here it comes, and there it goes. It's fair, it's long, it's in the chop house.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Metro Deli and by AmeriGas Propane. Monthly play-by-play schedule available at ESPNTallahassee.com. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Goaltend or no goaltend made me laugh. I love it because he bitched Oladipo. Whether you want to call that a goaltend or not, that was a man's block. Because the move Oladipo puts on James is evil. I mean, that's brutal. It is a ball never comes out of my left hand and you're shook. And it speaks to unreal athleticism and ability to change direction on a dime for a man that size. I know. Look, you I think technically speaking, I think that was a goaltend because the ball hit the glass. Do we find out, according to the NBA rulebook, officials have to deem that a ball off the backboard, quote, has a chance to score in order to call goaltending. And the way that normally looks, by the way, is if the ball is off the backboard above the rim, it is immediately called a goaltending, okay? So anything above the rim that hits the backboard, they immediately call goaltending. The ball's below the rim.
Correct. On the way down is when it's not involving the rim. Everybody knows that.
Right. But
or the backboard, I should say.
Backboard. But so anything above the rim that hits the backboard, that's an automatic no-brainer. We're calling that. The reason there's a level of dispute here is there is no assumption. And again, the letter of the law says that according to that rule book, officials must deem that a ball off the backboard has a chance to score to call goaltending. And so you get into the subjective there. Did that have a chance to go in?
Of course it did.
If it's above the rim, they always assume the way they protect themselves is, well, it was above the rim. He could have had English on it. It could have gone towards the rim. This is a gray area of the rule book where it's below the rim when he basically pins it. He's like, get that out of here.
Yes. And there was a wonderful tweet. Sometimes social media can be pretty fun. From Dellavedova Facts. Remember when the world fell in love with Matthew Dellavedova because he was white and did a couple of things? So it says, people are missing the point of why LeBron's block on Oladipo is not goaltending. Rule 11C, for goaltending to occur, the ball in the judgment of the official must have a chance to score, as you said. When LeBron is chasing you down in the fourth, you have no mother bleeping chance to score. This is the conclusion that Dellavedova Facts has come to. But if it's coming off the glass, under the rim, over the rim, and we're talking about NBA players, of course it's got a chance to score. Look at the circus career of Dwayne Wade and how he's used a glass and tell me that doesn't have a chance to score in this particular instance.
It does. I'm glad that LeBron hit the three so that we're not stuck talking about this all that much today. There are a couple of things here that I would also note. If we're going to do this, and we can do this every game, especially one that comes down to a final possession, but if you really want to do this, all you need to do within the same minute of the game is go back to the Thaddeus Young play on the baseline with LeBron in which he tips the ball out and they inappropriately gave Indiana the ball. So that ball should have been Cleveland's ball.
Sure.
So we could do this. I'm not going to do it. I love the defensive play. I love that guy is evil.
Well, and the worst case scenario for the officials would have been LeBron takes it to the rack, gets fouled, hits one shot, and they win by a point.
Right.
But it didn't happen that way.
No, because he basically hit the Jordan shot over Craig Elo.
Yeah. He's hit a few of those now.
Man, he's hit more than people ever remember.
Well, he had the
Orlando game. There's a ton of these.
And then there was the Pacers one where he got to the rim at the end of the game. That was game 1 of the East Finals a few years back. And then times when he's fouled and he hits foul shots, nobody remembers those because those aren't sexy 3-pointers where he's fading away.
He's awesome. He's right there with the greatest players in the history of the game, if not the greatest player in the history of the game. And people love to just yell about stuff. I got you. The game has changed a lot from the time that Jordan was great and LeBron is great now. And if you go back before that, I don't know why Wilt Chamberlain doesn't get mentioned on the regular as one of those guys you could have in the debate. It's probably because of the lack of championships compared to, say, Russell, whom he battled. But, of course, they actually changed the rules because of Wilt Chamberlain, so that's always an argument. Oscar Robertson did things before they kept the statistic for triple-doubles, so we know about some of the exploits, but not all of his exploits. Magic Johnson changed the game of basketball. I mean, he literally changed the game of basketball. You had never seen a 6'9" point guard to command the floor, who could actually play all 5 positions and did frequently. And he sometimes doesn't get mentioned as the greatest player. So people love to get passionate about that debate. I don't know why they love to take away from LeBron's greatness, though, any chance they get. Any chance. Maybe it's because LeBron's greatness happened at a time in which social media is at its peak.
I think that's your answer.
I think probably so.
And the funny thing is, with the social media access we have, that everybody has cameras in their hand at all times now. Where's the scandal? That's the thing. And how many of the others before him, quite a few you've named before, if not all of them.
Right.
Would something have popped up in that era? Several things, in fact.
It's kind of a minor miracle that it hasn't really happened.
Yeah, and even if it did, I don't know that I'd hold it against him because, good Lord, for 20 years, this guy's going to be squeaky clean. But that's what he's approaching. I mean, because he was a sensation since he was 15, 16 years old, and ESPN had his games on
The
television.
biggest knock against LeBron James always has to do with mistakes made from a public relations standpoint. Well, if that's all that our superstar player is, going to commit in the way of transgressions, we should celebrate.
That's the Cleveland return actually miffed me more than going to Miami.
Well, but the handling of the decision.
Yeah, I get it. That's
poor.
That's generally speaking poor. To me, again, it didn't bother me as much because he was going to go wherever he wanted to go, and damn you for getting mad about it. The whole I'm coming home personal touch to coming back to Cleveland, well, yeah, for a brief time you're coming home. And it's all made good because he won the title.
Which he did after they were down 3-1.
I mean, he's making it sound like the number one element of his return was a personal heartstring being
But that's
tugged.
just manipulation from a PR standpoint. So like I said, again, the biggest mistakes he ever makes have to do with public relations and the manipulation of image that we take exception to. But that's really minor in the realm of transgressions.
No, and probably the top of the list is the soccer theatrics at times. I mean, come on, dude. Yeah. This ain't wrestling.
Well, especially because you're a mountain of a man.
Right.
Yeah, no, nobody's knocking you over quite that easy.
I got elbow in the face when the elbow doesn't even touch your face.
Right.
I got no time for that.
I don't either, but Jeter did that in baseball, and there are a lot of guys over the years that they would call it gamesmanship, Tom. I don't have time for it, but they would call it gamesmanship.
They can call it gamesmanship all they want.
Hour number 2 forthcoming. You'd call it something different. Stay tuned. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Until 4 at Killearn Country Club. Get custom fit by vendor reps from Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, Cleveland, Ping, Bushnell, and Wilson staff. And while you're there, register to win a $500 shopping spree. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Demo Day, featuring custom fitting, deals, prizes, and more. This Friday from noon till 4 at Killearn Country Club. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, celebrating 50 years of serving golfers around the country.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's the Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One, Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. For the first time, the NFL Draft will be held in an NFL stadium in Arlington, Texas, at the home of the Cowboys. 20,000 fans will be there when the draft starts tonight. The Browns hold the #1 pick right now, followed by the Giants and the Jets. Our first-round coverage of the draft starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Quarterback prospect Josh Allen is apologizing today for a series of offensive tweets that he sent out when he was in high school. Allen says he was young and dumb. Plenty of quarterbacks available tonight, at least 5 figure to go in the first round. ESPN NFL analyst Matt Hasselbeck.
Josh Rosen is the quarterback that I think is the guy to draft in this draft, especially if you're Cleveland. Now, I've not heard anybody say that Josh Rosen's going to Cleveland, but for Cleveland, you got to think about, okay, who do I know can play at the next level? Who do I absolutely know can be a starter for a long time? And for me, you look at the tape, it's Josh Rosen.
Matt Hasselbeck on Golic and Wingo. Jaguars owner Shad Khan wants to buy Wembley Stadium in London. The Jags have played one regular season game in London each year for the last 5 years. Back in 2013, Khan bought the London soccer club Fulham. In the NBA playoffs, the Celtics and Bucks play Game 6 tonight in Milwaukee. Boston leads that series 3-2. The city of Boston today approved a plan to remove the name Yawkey Way from the street just outside Fenway Park. The street was renamed more than 40 years ago to honor longtime team owner Thomas Yawkey. But with Yawkey in charge, the Red Sox were the last team in baseball to hire a black player. The street will now revert back to its original name, Jersey Street.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Feels like a Libations Friday. Kind of feels like a reason to celebrate. We will be a few hours from right now. Meet me over at Bumpers, won't you? Let's have ourselves a cocktail and talk about the NFL draft, huh? Watch it at the very least. I know this guy's going to be getting a pretzel. That's you.
That's right. You will too. You'll try it and say, "That is delicious, Tom. I think I'll get one myself."
Didn't you have a pretzel the first night we went over to Bumpers and I took a bite of it?
I don't know that you took a bite of it.
I think you insisted.
Oh, did I?
Well, one of the times we were there.
That's the kind of guy I am.
You do, especially with pretzels. More than any other item, it lends itself to that, admittedly. But you will straight up, hey, have some of this pretzel, Jeff. And it makes me laugh because you're like a child eager to play with a toy with his friend. You should really try this. You love them. And they have gigantic ones. And so we will.
That's right. I was there on Monday, and I refrained from the pretzel because I wanted it to be
you
a
wanted
treat.
It to be a special day, right?
On draft night. And maybe I'll ask them if they can make the pretzel in the shape of a Q for Quentin Nelson.
Man.
Wouldn't you have some of that pretzel? Wouldn't that be a pretzel after your own heart?
Yeah, it would. I'm excited with the way things have begun to trend as the afternoon wears on and the latest rumors involving the draft this evening. That said, I mean, I get how that works. I get that now you get a lot of screening, kind of messed up information in order to deceive. That's been going on for the last 48 hours, big time. Longer than that, but it gets ramped up. Everybody wants to be able to be recognized as having some sort of keen insight into what's going to take place tonight. Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com, going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour, does a great job and is not prone to that sort of hyperbole and the need to just throw things out there for the hell of it. So I will be asking him about Quentin Nelson and whether or not the Bucs are going to find that prized pick still available to them at number 7 when we draft tonight. And we will watch, as we just got done talking about, at Bumpers. Hopefully you'll come on by. Those of you listening to the show, if you've not been, delicious food, plenty of variety, I'll say that too, and lots of televisions to boot. So come on out and enjoy, and let's watch the draft. We've been doing this 20 years. I swear it feels about that long. I think every year, I know you haven't been with the show all 20 years, but I think going back to Matt and I's days as well, and maybe not with Dina, but I think we hosted some form of a draft watch party or a draft get-together. I mean, it's always been it wasn't always on Thursdays, of course, but we would meet up on the weekend.
This will be my 9th. Yes, I was an intern helping out back in 2009 with that particular draft. And that was an interesting one.
Oh, well, as we noted.
As we've noted.
Yeah.
We shall move on.
We're not going to continue to go down that path. No. I will say there's a part of me that hopes Cleveland gets it right tonight, man. And I don't, who's to say gets it right? There are a few things you could do that would raise eyebrows more than others, obviously. But if they just handle it strategically the way that one thinks you should, you know what I mean with that? I mean, none of the quarterbacks, save for Josh Rosen, in my opinion, really stand out as a guy you just can't live without, right? They're all kind of grouped together. And if that's the way you see them, then you got to take Saquon Barkley, let others figure it out, and then move from there at number 4 and get your quarterback with who's left standing. Now, I will say this. The one exception is Rosen in my mind. If they decide to go Rosen 1 and roll the dice that Barkley's not going to be there at 4 when it comes back around, I understand that.
Yeah, there's a okay shot that may be the case, but if you're looking at some of the word from wherever, I mean, there are a lot of national, regional sources that are talking about what the top 4 are going to look like. It sounds like the Jets would go at this moment, right? So it's going to change an hour from now for more clicks.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
But the Jets would go Rosen if Mayfield is off the board. So the Jets would go Rosen over Darnold, but that means that there is a slew of teams that would be interested in Darnold at 4, which would then mean the Browns would be offered the world for the 4th pick in the draft. So they could get a quarterback and then a bunch of more picks.
Yeah, a ton of other picks, yeah.
A ton of other picks.
I got to believe that we're going to see some trades. One of them might involve the Miami Dolphins moving up ahead of the Bucs in order to get Rosen. That continues to be a rumor. I mentioned it before. I'll mention it again here. Yeah, I mean, I continue to read and talk to people down in Miami. I actually called down there during the break, and there's a guy that's tuned in, not to the Dolphins necessarily, well, not within the organization, but people he knows that work for the organization.
Is it our pal who watches spring games and such?
Not that guy. Nope, somebody else.
Okay.
Knows somebody who works for the Dolphins, and they were saying, they're not going to reveal their plans necessarily, but yeah, they're interested in maybe moving up to grab Rosen.
Well, okay, so that means that there are 3 teams that are interested, that are at least doing something about it, and there's been information about. That would be the Bills, number 1. They've been long speculated as to trade up into the top 6 or so in order to get a quarterback.
Yep.
The Cardinals have been tied to getting up in the first group, and the Dolphins of late with the interest in Rosen specifically. So you have a lot of suitors. It is a seller's market if you're in that top 6.
You love that. I mean, we all do. You want chaos. It is a lot of fun. Now, you don't want chaos that negatively affects your team, but you do like to see a blank show when you're sitting down on draft night with your friends and everybody's got a different rooting interest. And so long as it doesn't screw you and there's no deleterious effect on your team's ability to get the player they wanted because somebody does something that's outrageous, then it's fun. It makes it more interesting for the rest of us. Okay, I didn't see that coming. Arizona's now picking number 2. This is going to get fascinating.
For those just tuning in today who are interested in the draft, but they don't want to hear about it for the whole week, I understand you. But the magic number for the Buccaneers is 4. 4 quarterbacks between number 1 and number 6, and then there will be a choice option to fall in their laps at number 7.
Yeah, and I also find myself really, really rooting tonight for Derwin to go to a good place. That place could be Tampa, but, I hate it when we see guys go and get selected by a team that is so far away from competing. You just kind of feel like they get mired. It was interesting. You remember when Jalen Ramsey went to the Jags, we were all of the mindset that Jalen was going to be a very good player in the league, almost one of those can't-miss kind of guys.
Well, yes, and pairing with the situation he was in, although the Jags were losing a lot, that defense looked
really
more fearsome,
made a lot of sense. We thought, oh, man, that's going to be a good pick for them. That's going to work out right away. They already had some pieces there, and you could just see it building. It's funny, when you look at certain organizations, you realize in the moment too, and it happens on draft night. That's another reason we get excited. There's a build-up. Okay, that's a piece they needed. This looks good. I think he works at the next level. All right, that's a good pick. And then all of a sudden, that time, it's like you're clicking in the final piece to that puzzle. You're placing it down. You're like, that makes sense. This is coming together now. They're on the board, and you go, well, if they take Jalen Ramsey here, this is one hellified defense to go along with Telvin, and we've gone down the list of people that we were talking about. And, the Fournette pick was the same way. You could just see it. It. And I feel like, and I know I'm rooting for this, but I feel like Tampa's kind of close. If you could vastly improve this offensive line to give you a semblance of a running game, and, obviously that sets you up to be able to protect your passer better as well. And, you've got weapons at wide receiver. You're not far away on defense. You're loaded at linebacker. You're good in the interior. You need a edge rusher. I'll grant you that. JPP is going to help. You need a running back. So if you go O-line here, running back early second round, you're really close, man.
Well, and you're looking for an identity top down. I think that's the area where Tampa's going to lack, no matter what you do.
Well, that's because the organization sucks.
Right. When Coughlin takes over football operations for the Jags, you already had a lot of nasty players on defense. Fowler, he needed to be healthy, but Fowler was there, and then Telvin was there. Jalen obviously is pretty nasty too, and they have an identity about him, and he grabs Fournette, and those two things play very well together. With Cutter, He's not a nasty guy. I don't know what his philosophy is on offense. If he could pick something, I don't know which one he would pick. Probably the running game.
To be scared. His identity is to coach scared.
Well, then he'd like to rush for it on 3rd and 4. Well, let's at least get him all the pieces to run the ball on 3rd and 4.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. You know, the one thing I think this makes better, too, the one player I think it makes better is O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard is a piece that works not just in the receiving facet of being a tight end, but he also can block in the run game. He's good in pass protection and in support down the field. Well, if you have an offense that people have to fear on the ground, that makes O.J. Howard even more likely to be wide the hell open like he was last year when we were one-dimensional anyway. So I think it opens up that facet of the offense too. It's a win-win around the horn. If we go back 2 months when you first talked about Quentin Nelson, I was like, Minkah Fitzpatrick sounds like the right pick. You have wooed me and convinced me.
Come on, baby.
And for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I have been on board 100%. This is the right move. You just need the numbers to work out. So the more trades there are into the top 6-pack of picks, the better it is for us.
There it is. Willie Taggart is on the tour, and this is where you get an opportunity from afar to hear from Florida State's head coach a little bit more frequently than you ordinarily would, because he's rallying the troops, so to speak, if you will. And I know Ira Schafel went over there to Panama City Beach to document Willie Taggart's time there and the spring booster tour that he's on, and the assistant coaches, meanwhile, going throughout the state trying to bring in a haul of recruits while Willie, kind of does what he does at this point. And
brings in a haul of cash. Yeah.
That's right. I did think it was interesting. You can go to warchant.com and read Ira's latest piece that it was revealed Willie brought the team together and met with them individually as well as collectively, and the players' position coaches also met with them, and the offensive and defensive coordinator, academic advisor. All of these folks come together to kind of lay out a plan for the offseason, things they should be working on individually during the offseason, whether it's obviously in the classroom, which everybody has to do, could be the weight room, could need to gain size and strength, could be the practice field. Obviously, if you have an injury, it's going to be in rehab, and those kinds of things. And the quote reads as follows, and he said this Wednesday evening addressing a crowd, a booster tour, a crowd there at Panama City. Well, they're getting evaluated, and on every aspect of the program. I just think it's right. If we're going to ask our kids to do all of these things, we need to let them know where they stand currently so that we can work on those things that they need to do to get better. And he talked a little bit about those sessions and how they went. Talked about we got a lot of feedback. They got feedback from us. We got feedback from them. How they're seeing things, what we can do better as well. We wanted to know. It's just really a 180. It's really amazing to watch this in terms of player-coach reactions, player-coach interaction in general. We'll see if it works. But every seemingly week we hear something new that is very different than the way that it was done before. And Willie is always the first to point out, too, that everybody's just got to do it the way they know how to do it, and there are different ways that will succeed. So this is not to be perceived as a shot. It's just noting that it's also very different.
You can't let players do everything they want to do, but in this case, in his first semester, if you will, of being the head coach at Florida State, player input is massively important in bridging a gap between coaching staff and players, a trust, again, between the new guys and the new coaches and all that stuff. It's really important that you allow for their feedback to take a big part in the process. I would think that Willie has a blueprint of what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. I'm sure the evaluation itself probably doesn't change. But when it comes to fixing a situation that's broken, and this isn't a talent situation, it's just a trust, a bond between the coaching staff and the players, you have to allow for that thing to govern itself a little bit. Hear what the players have to say. And it sounds like he's listening. And that will make the chase already helped and spring ball already helped, but there's still something to be done here to make everybody feel like one unit together.
Well, once you go through spring ball and you're able to apply a new philosophy and a new way of doing things on a daily basis, whether that began, obviously that started with the chase and on through, and you can familiarize yourself with the roster and the other coaches and you're hoping that the message you're trying to get across to them and instill into their psyche on a daily basis, and everything that they do as a student athlete in the off season takes hold, it's probably a case where they're very eager because, quote unquote, these are now the time of voluntary workouts. This is where guys have to come together on their own. And we know it's not always successful. We know that by and large, players kind of understand that things will be reported back to the coaches. And if you're not showing up, and we had situations like this involving Deondre Francois when he was not showing up for these workouts where players got together. And that was the first kind of alarm that made a lot of people raise an eyebrow. Like, wait a minute, the quarterback is always the one that's supposed to lead the way and get together for these things so that they can get on the same page and that leadership can be displayed. So that was the first time we got concerned. But anyhow, back to the way Willie and the coaching staff must be looking at this is they have to hope for 100% participation here. I know he went on to say at the meeting last night that the key is you got to get all those guys out there. It is voluntary, but this says an awful lot about where we're at in the process and whether or not you believe in it in each other. How often they're out there and how much work they're willing to put in together without coaches watching and being on them. That's really going to tell them, the coaches that is, just how much took hold.
The hard part here, and Willie's seen it a few times, obviously, at USF, at Oregon, and now here, and I'm sure it's different every place he's gone, the specifics of the problems and how they present themselves. But you have to unlearn some things, too, if you're players. I get that we're trying to simplify, but that still means you're unlearning the way Jimbo has you wired. Because, we may not have agreed with everything. I'm going to
reveal something here in a second that speaks exactly to that. Go ahead.
Well, screw it. Go ahead.
Okay, you're right. And the relearning and unwiring and all of that, you want to think that is taking hold and you have proof of it or at least recognition of it. How about this? The quote from Willie Taggart last night was that it was the first time that I've ever had these meetings where I got a big hug from everybody. It's the damnedest thing. Usually you get a handshake and they keep walking out, but every single person gave me a hug. I thought, this is very cool. Now that's emotional, Tom Lang. That's fantastic.
Are we going to have to call him the Liberator? I mean, what is
think
this?
About that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Every guy's hugging him. Oh,
thank God,
Coach.
You don't know.
But that's a big damn deal.
Yeah.
And if it's revealing of anything, it's like they're so open to the new way of doing things and so excited that each and every one of those guys gave him a freaking hug.
Can we get a GIF from our friend Cinefunk? You met him, right, in recent weeks?
Yeah.
Can we get a GIF of Willie on the back of a Jeep in World War II, and it's him with the helmet on, and then all of the players are just lining. There's an aisle, and they're just throwing stuff at him, thanking him for occupying their city, liberating the city.
Yeah, you could do that, or it could be the beach scene that we always crack up.
Oh, yeah. In Shawshank?
Shawshank.
Which player would it be, though? Who would embody?
Who would be Morgan Freeman walking up that beach? Because
it could be Odell because he stayed.
But I just love Willie's on that boat turning and smiling.
Yeah.
That how great is that?
Well, Willie's got to be walking up because he's arrived.
And it's a player or somebody else.
Odell.
Or Odell. All I know is, man, I read that, and most of the time I'm able to put a governor on that garnet and gold passion that rolls through. I'm able to say, hey, this happens everywhere. Everybody's excited about the new guy. I'm reading him talking about, it's the damnedest thing. Each and every guy gave me a hug. You're damn right they did, Willie.
What if it was Bobby who was working on the boat? So Willie walks up and there's Bobby, and he turns around.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Somebody do it. Even if it doesn't represent anything.
It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
It's just,
Yeah, all right.
That's how it feels.
I like that right there.
I hope.
Oh, man. That's the ending. And every time I watch that ending, when he's walking on the beach, I go, wherever that is, I need to be. Because there ain't nobody else around anywhere.
Tallahassee.
Yes. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Fronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Whidden is known for taking care of business. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. You are thinking about purchasing a car in the next 6 months. Now is the time. Today through May 1st. You heard about Nissan's fiscal year end in March? Well, Kraft Nissan set another year-end record, and we were awarded a special allocation of vehicles. Some remain, and guess what this means to you? The factory is giving us something that has never been offered before. Not anywhere, not anytime. It is Employee Pricing Plus. It's simple. Browse our lot and find the car of your choice. Kraft Nissan will show you in black and white what the total discount is. That's right. First we give you the employee price, then we show you the total discount under this unheard of program. And if you owe more than your car is worth, Employee Pricing Plus with prices under invoice is your answer to getting that new car you want today. Please note that Kraft Nissan's unlimited time and unlimited mileage lifetime warranty is also included in each new vehicle sold through this exclusive offering. It's Employee Pricing Plus, now through May 1st, and it will not be repeated. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Remember, you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
I have known for some time now that some insurance companies are not exactly being truthful with their customers, stating such things as if you do not use one of their approved body shops, they will not guarantee the repairs, or it may cost you more out of pocket. Here at Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, the work we do is guaranteed for as long as you own your vehicle. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, 385-2665.
License number MP46050.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Monster Jam. There's only one event with high-octane energy, heart-pounding action, and non-stop excitement. See Gravedigger, Scooby-Doo, and more. Presented by official partners America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses, BKT Tires, and your Southern Ford dealers. Tickets start at $15. Restrictions and additional charges may apply. Coming to Donald L. Tucker Civic Center at FSU, April 28th.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Man, that came out a long time ago. Long time ago now. 30 years. I may be wrong on that. Maybe check that out. I don't remember that exactly when that came up, but I think it's like 30 years ago. It's ridiculous. I'm doing that now. That's what's happening. My dad used to do that all the time. I'd be in the car, and he'd be like, 1962, son. Which led to me having, for a very long time, a library worth of music forevermore etched into my memory of meaningless artists, some meaningful, but others just one-hit doo-wop people, whatever they were, and me being able to tell you exactly when the record came out. That's what my dad would do in the car. 1957. I still remember and just ridiculous things like that. And then years later, for whatever reason, I would regurgitate that. But I would often laugh because I would think, my God, Dad, you are ancient. 1967. What the hell?
My dad and your dad are peers.
Yes.
So my dad never really grasped the fact that I understood who CCR was. Because every time a CCR song comes on, he goes, do you know who this is? Like, he's very proud to reveal to me.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, Dad. He goes, it's Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know, Dad.
You told me this last time they were on. Yeah.
They're good. They're good.
You know what I found odd, though, about CCR, and I think everybody does the first time it's revealed to them, is that you hear all of those great CCR tracks, and actually, whether they're the hits or the deep tracks, most all CCR stuff is fantastic, is that the first time you realize that Fogerty's from San Francisco, you're like, what? What do you mean they're not from Louisiana? What are you talking about? Run Through the Jungle? What jungle? You were in San Francisco. Like, they cultivated a sound that is not who they are.
Sure.
And they did it as well, if not better than most. It's all blues-based, but it's amazing when you think that they're from California.
Well, you can hear some of that with the Summertime. There's a perfect fit for the summertime and a sea breeze with some CCR. It fits. But I hear you. A lot of it
most of it is
heartland kind of stuff.
Whoa, and it's the down, and it's all that sort of southern bluesy.
Well, that's how the lyrics of Fortunate Son can be the lyrics they are, and people are like, "That's a great American track." It's like,
well,
you sure?
Actually ripping, which it is. Actually, it is.
You sure about that?
Yes, it is, but not the way you think it is, sir. Not the way you're looking at it. Well, that's not unlike Springsteen's "Born in the USA," which is not a flag-waving song. But it was for an entire presidential campaign, so there you go.
6-1.
I'm telling you, by the way, I keep going back to that damnedest thing quote with him hugging every single player and saying, that was pretty cool, and me going, ooh, you got me. You snuck up on me. I'm like, yeah. Now, if he's out there, sitting up there with Gene Deckerhoff, swapping stories about coming together with the players and having assessments and meetings and ideas about the way the summer should progress. And it culminates with the story of how shocked he was to get a hug from every player. You know, the pocketbooks are opening up.
Oh.
There it is.
Why, it's only $20, you'll say.
Look around. Yes, I am. I'm going to take a gander. At Jay Cameron Show, Master Lang does not have the history we old-timers have of losing out by one slot on the perfect guy in the draft because of a meaningless Game 16 win. Hashtag Gaines Adams. Hashtag Broderick Thomas. Oh.
All right, the Gaines Adams one I was there for.
I hated Broderick Thomas, the king of the tackle 8 yards downfield. Every year, Bucs fans would, but he led the team in tackles. Well, after they got the first, hashtag Hugh Green, hashtag so many, hashtag so damn many. Yes, hashtag Mario.
A-hole.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it nearly happened again. We would not have been able to grab young Jameis Winston had that game not turned out the way that it did against the Saints in the final week in a late fourth. I'd never been a bigger Saints fan in my life. I've never met one either, whether they were lifelong or not, than I was in the second half of that game going, come on, Drew Brees, you fantastic son of a bitch.
Yes.
You go down the field and lead this drive the way you should.
Okay, so let me ask you something. You don't know what turn there's going to be or trend for Jameis' career from here on out. Can't know it. We think we know, but we can't. That was an important play for him, though, wasn't it? The walk-off win, Week 17, final game of the season. We talked about it the following week, how to see the ball go through the hoop and to make a play.
Right. Well, and we weren't jockeying for a can't-miss key position player at the time that you could think of.
But here's the question. I'm sure Mario wants to hear the answer to this question.
Would you give it back now, knowing
if
that
it guaranteed you
Nelson?
Yeah.
I think there's always going to be a guy there, though. Yeah, I mean, I think they're always if that win makes you draft 3 instead of 2, there's always a guy that you could argue.
But fully understanding that play can help his career moving forward. That's as good a note as you can end on if you're not in the playoffs or hoisting the Lombardi Trophy.
Well, because it was one of many that were necessary once he got healthy. The whole thing about getting healthy again and showing exactly why it was. See, he has to do something. This is very difficult for Jameis, and I think it's unlike any other situation in the NFL for a young quarterback. It's not the same for Marcus Mariota. It's not the same for any of the young quarterbacks, given not just the weight of expectations as the number 1 pick overall and the franchise quarterback in the state of Florida, a state in which he played, with all the expectations in Tampa, et cetera, but also, of course, all the off-the-field stuff, the polarizing elements that accompanied Jameis Winston to the Tampa Bay franchise. And we know what outsiders think. The lazy and dangerous speculation and the way that Jameis is described. And you can't undo that. That's what that is. But within the state, there's an argument, too, because you have Gator fans and you have others who maybe didn't pay attention to the mountain of evidence that suggests that there was never going to be charges, and for good reason. Jameis, there are so many people who want him to fail, and so many people that when the Bucs lose solely blame him. And yeah, that's true of a lot of young quarterbacks, but they don't have the baggage of the other stuff that go along with it, right? So how quickly Tampa Bay fans, many of whom are not real sure, they're in limbo about where they are with Jameis. They kind of like him. There are things they've seen that they like him, but they are quick to forget the first time something happens negative on a field. The Bucs losing games last year while he's hurt somehow allowed for amnesia to hit all of those fans that have been in limbo or uncertain as to which direction to go with Jameis. They forgot that he arrived and took over the starting quarterback position on a team that the year previous had won 2 games and immediately got them to 6 wins. They forgot it in year 2. He immediately got them to 9 wins, a winning record 2 seasons in the league with so many missing pieces. They forget that he has twice prior to last year thrown for over 4,000 yards, that he had set records as a rookie, set records as a young quarterback in this league, passing numbers that belong to the likes of Dan Marino and others, right? All that got pushed out the second the Bucs began to struggle last year, which there were a myriad of reasons why the Bucs struggled last year. Some of them might even involve Jameis not securing the football in the pocket. There are those things. But it was also because he was hurt and trying to play through injury. And so everything about last year's losing season gets put on his shoulders. And it's like nothing that happened previous to that is even recognized by the talking heads nationally and certainly the people locally in Tampa. So this year is huge, and last year coming back from the injury and proving once again what it was that people believed about you and why they were so excited to begin with. He had to do that in a very small window once he came back from the shoulder injury. So that was part of it, Tom. Leading game-winning drives, having good games, being productive, throwing for a high completion percentage, not turning the football over, proving once again to be big, strong in the pocket, anticipatory, checking the right plays, protections, all of those things, being the unquestioned leader in the locker room, to which, his immaturity sometimes affects. I agree with that. That's something he's got to get better at. Jameis, if he has to improve anything, ball security in the pocket and maturity. He can't fly off the handle when the call is wrong or he's upset about something a player did, or if he turns the football. You can't do that. Stop doing that. But these are all things that, you think are normal in the maturation process for a young quarterback. These are all things that oftentimes happen. Maybe not the fumbles, but last year was the first time that he really had a problem with that. And he's still throwing for a higher completion percentage. And when you look at yards per attempt and all the things that portend of great quarterback play to come, he's right where he needs to be. But that season last year, for whatever reason, in the minds of many, undid all of the previous good. And so, down the stretch, him performing well, vital to, once again, changing perceptions of him as being the franchise quarterback amongst those undecided. And then this season, obviously, he has to have a very good year. The second he shows a sign that he's just, I don't know, maybe stagnant, not regressing, because if he regresses, then we have to criticize him. But if he's stagnant, if he doesn't take another huge leap forward the way that he did his first 2 seasons and probably would have last year had he not gotten hurt, people will give up. They will quickly side with a safer, less controversial figure. They will. I mean, I think we're decidedly pro Jameis, but I also think the numbers and all the evidence should make you pro Jameis if you're a fan of the Buccaneer franchise.
I agree. The final play, though, the one against the Saints, would you trade it for Nelson? Would you take it back if it got you Nelson? Because Dirk saw that final play, too, and I think that's the other importance of that moment, is that Dirk didn't want that play to happen, and then Dirk in one moment sees why that dude's special.
Well, that throw is...
And he was the one who in the moment says, no, Jameis, and then it's a yes.
No, but you're reminding me of why I hate that dude. What do you need, a-hole?
That.
Why?
Because he doesn't believe.
Well, go to hell, because you wouldn't have a job. Man.
That's what non-believers do, Jeff. They go to hell.
It's ridiculous. And he knows it because, listen, when he tried the other tack, when he made the mistake while Jameis was hurt and trying to play hurt of rolling him under the bus verbally, he then quickly realized he had chosen the wrong side, both for 2 reasons. One, when Jameis got healthy and started making plays again, he went, I forgot.
He also watched Fitzpatrick for a couple of weeks after that, too.
Yes.
That kind of helps.
Well, but then also, if you recall the maturity that Winston showed when he was asked about Cutter and how he wouldn't stoop to that and how he kind of stood up for him and all of those things.
Jameis may eat W's, but he has his head coach's back if he's asked by the media about his head coach.
It's really weird with his degree of immaturity is that, on the one hand, there are times where it reveals itself and you go, oh, Jesus, stop eating W's.
There's a point
and
where...
there are other times where you're more mature than the head coach.
Right, exactly. Where you're more mature than the head coach, and then there's another time where Deshaun Jackson's like, get your act together, dude.
Yeah, well, he's just staring at him like, what are we doing here?
Be an adult. And that's Deshaun Jackson. And telling him to be an adult.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. And no, I think he needed the play, I suppose. I don't know. I would love to be able to say that, of course, he didn't need that play to reaffirm belief from the organization, the head coach, and its fan base that he was the guy that we knew him to be previous. I mean, that's ridiculous, but that's what I mean. He's constantly having to do that when he ought not.
I think it's for the head coach and for his own confidence. Because at some point that does affect him.
Maybe, but he had already, if you go back and look at the numbers from last year, Mario and I were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah,
if you go back, every week I was sending them to you. We were looking at those numbers. We were laughing at that. We're like, well, here you go. Further proof that over the last whatever many weeks it was, he was a top 3 quarterback. Well, by some numbers, the best, which nobody would believe. Nobody would believe that if you told them.
It was there.
Oh, it is there.
Still is. You know why?
It's not an opinion. You can look it up. That's right.
Fact.
It's a fact.
It didn't change.
Yeah. Let's just hope they get Quentin Nelson to protect the franchise.
So we get both. Maybe old Dirk will be a little bit more aggressive in the moment next year. Or Jameis will just check out of it and say, what do you want? Get fired? Or you want to stay with me?
And then he'll leave. He'll ride.
That's where he needs to get assertive. What you want from me? I'm going to get you extended, coach.
He attempted to. And if you go back and look at Hard Knocks, there's the conversation. There's a couple times where he's talking to Dirk, and he's like, well, you know, and I was calling you on those nights like,
right,
what is
and Dirk
he doing?
says, well, that's a very good question. Yeah.
Oh, man. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
Say what, it's the boy Big Snoop D-O-double-G. And I got a very special message to the players. That's right, to the males. Sexual performance issues are more common than you think. Maybe not for me, but probably for you. Over 25% of new ED cases are guys under 40. So what do you do if you suffer from ED? Go to 4hims.com, the wellness brand for men, so you can look good, feel good, and perform well in the bedroom. You dig? Thanks to science, E to the D can be optional. Say, man, don't be embarrassed. Guys should take better care of themselves. Look good, feel good, live good, like me. It's $5. $5 to try it out, man. And it comes right to your crib. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Go to forhims.com/love. FORHIMS.com/love. For him/love. Go.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Paying more for paint doesn't make it better paint. It just makes it more expensive. The Home Depot carries some of the highest quality paint brands in America, but you'd never know it by the price, like top-rated Behr Premium Plus, starting at only $25.98 a gallon. Look around. You can always find a higher price, but you won't find better paint. Quality paint, lower price, now with 100% satisfaction guarantee. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only. See store for details.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. For the first time, the NFL Draft will be held in an NFL stadium. In Arlington, Texas, at the home of the Cowboys, 20,000 fans will be there when the draft starts tonight. The Browns hold the #1 pick right now, followed by the Giants and the Jets. Our first-round coverage of the draft starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Quarterback prospect Josh Allen is apologizing today for a series of offensive tweets that he sent out when he was in high school. Allen says he was young and dumb. Plenty of quarterbacks available tonight. At least 5 figure to go in the first round. ESPN NFL analyst Matt Hasselbeck.
Josh Rosen is the quarterback that I think is the guy to draft in this draft, especially if you're Cleveland. Now, I've not heard anybody say that Josh Rosen's going to Cleveland, but for Cleveland, you got to think about, okay, who do I know can play at the next level? Who do I absolutely know can be a starter for a long time? And for me, you look at the tape, it's Josh Rosen.
Matt Hasselbeck on Golic and Wingo. Jaguars owner Shad Khan wants to buy Wembley Stadium in London. The Jags have played one regular season game in London each year for the last 5 years. Back in 2013, Kahn bought the London soccer club Fulham. In the NBA playoffs, the Celtics and Bucks play Game 6 tonight in Milwaukee. Boston leads that series 3-2. The city of Boston today approved a plan to remove the name Yawkey Way from the street just outside Fenway Park. The street was renamed more than 40 years ago to honor longtime team owner Thomas Yawkey. But with Yawkey in charge, the Red Sox were the last team in baseball to hire a black player. The street will now revert back to its original name, Jersey Street.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
NFL Network that the Browns are most certainly not going to take Baker Mayfield number 1. Okay.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Well, if you're a Browns fan, I hope you all just exhaled and went, well, thank goodness gracious, Jesus. That was a thing? We were going to do that? That's nuts. There's no way.
And, I was watching, and this is where it's important and it pays off to keep tabs on who says what and when. So Schefter obviously went crazy with the Mayfield to Cleveland talk a couple of days ago, but I was flipping around between Le Batard and Dan Patrick on television, and Dan said, well, Schefter's running with it today, but I had that from one of my 2 trusted sources a day earlier. And so I've reported, and now I see that, it's kind of leaking out from here or there. But these are one of my 2 guys. They don't need to tell me anything, and they're not looking for notoriety. But a trusted source told me that Baker Mayfield's going to be the pick, that they're going to likely pick Baker
Who
Mayfield.
said this today?
Dan Patrick. That's 2 days ago, Dan Patrick. Because when Schefter went crazy with the reports about the Browns' interest in Baker Mayfield, Dan Patrick said, well, I told you that yesterday from one of my 2 trusted people. So it was like they were racing to get the Baker Mayfield thing correct first. And yet it apparently
isn't going to be.
If you believe his latest report.
Oh, I don't know. And, Ian Rappaport said that on the NFL Network, quote, I just talked to another GM who's known John Dorsey well, and he said, quote, he's not taking Mayfield. I know that's false. That was tweeted out by Tampa Bay Trey, whoever the hell that is.
All right.
Rappaport, by the way, then said, I did say that. The point was, even with clear buzz between the Browns and Mayfield, other GMs are kind of like, yeah, we'll see. Probably not. No way Dorsey takes that guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Which puts them in position to be the Browns, right? For Rappaport to go, well, I mean, everybody said they shouldn't take him, so they did in true Cleveland form. Or is this the final word that they're definitely not going to take Baker Mayfield? It's interesting.
I just think with that many question marks, you're much smarter to remove that from the equation. I mean, it could be that Baker Mayfield makes it. I told you I haven't ruled out that guy could be successful if he goes to the right place. Now, there are a lot more question marks with a guy that's only 6 feet tall and played in the system that he did, but we now are at a place anymore where you can no longer just summarily dismiss them as having no chance because they ran a very collegial system. Those systems are being incorporated into the NFL more and more, certainly aspects of them, more and more every day. So, and we've watched guys do it. Now, where we're not, and I know we keep talking about the RPOs and different things that NFL teams are using, and they are different because the rules are different. But we haven't seen the sustained success of some of these guys. Like Deshaun Watson, they did a lot of things very different from the typical offense in the NFL last year to match his skill set, which is wise. If you're taking a guy like that, you have to do that. So good on you. I'm not saying you can't take that guy. It's just you better adhere to what he does really well and incorporate all those things. That's just common sense. So that's happening. You're seeing those sorts of things. So I no longer just dismiss those guys as not having an opportunity, but what we haven't seen is that going to be sustained? Because the other thing that happened to Deshaun Watson is what happens to guys that play outside the pocket an awful lot. Not that he can't play inside the pocket, but they get hurt.
What a difference, though, a week made. Remember when his debut, it was on Thursday Night Football, short rest.
He was completely lost.
He could never take his eyes off the ground 2 feet in front of him. And he ends up scoring a breathtaking touchdown that ends up being the difference, but it was a rushing touchdown, something he won't be able to do but maybe 2 or 3 other times before he dies. And in the second to third week when he starts, he's poised. He's looking all over the field, scanning the field, throwing darts. I mean, he's always had the ability to make breathtaking throws from the pocket.
Yeah.
But the question is, how consistently, and if the defense catches up to the spread system that's being introduced to the NFL
Which
level.
It most assuredly will.
Do we have answers then? Do these quarterbacks have answers then? If they do, great. Then.
Well, that was the question mark surrounding RG3.
Yeah.
It was one of the reasons that I actually liked Marcus Mariota. Now, not more than
because he could win from the pocket.
He could win from the pocket a little bit more. We saw more evidence of that.
File this away, though. Like the Schefter camp, he was on a campaign to talk about Baker. And then the Dan Patrick thing, that's up there with the Mayock, Mariota, Winston. Well, if you believe these kids are the same level of talent, then you have to go with Mariota because of the character.
Right. Well, that's what Mayock said, yes.
And then the female anchor reporter said, well, do you believe they're the same level of talent? Well, that's the question. You piece of garbage.
Oh, it was the worst when he did that. Yeah, as soon as he did it, we were like, I'm done with you for life.
Or the Clowney thing. He's, well, I don't know about his motor. And then he runs the 40. Well, he was always going to be the first pick.
Well, I don't know what happened to that guy. I mean, he was great for a long time, and then he wasn't. And when he crashed, he really crashed. By the way, the other reason that we're all so sort of, well, you want to play it? Go ahead.
And now, Jeff wonders.
What the happened to Mike Mayock? I forgot about that.
Remember that? Yeah. Almost made it through a draft season without hitting it.
I did say that, didn't I?
And now, Jeff wonders.
What the happened to Mike Mayock? Well, I think I had reached my wits' end because he had said or done something dumb probably 6 days in a row leading up to the draft. What are you talking about? And it wasn't just Jameis. He was just contradicting so many things that he had said previous. He was hedging.
And now, Jeff wonders.
What the happened to Mike Mayock? You're used to hearing that tone. The reason that works is because that's me.
Real.
That's when you hear.
That could have been my iPhone. Just, at any point we're in line somewhere for lunch and I just, kind of hang it and float it around where you're speaking.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't often hear that or our promos because I turn myself off if I hear it. I get tired. We get tired of hearing our own voices.
Yeah.
But when you play an old one like that, I realize, well, that reason that works is that is me having a conversation with you, seemingly in private, about a person that we're,
And now, Jeff wonders.
What the happened to Mike Mayock?
But the best part about that is you don't get there immediately. You ask preliminary questions to kind of rule out logic. And then once I answer those questions, and they're not logical answers, but they're the answers I'm given to tell you.
Yeah, it reveals that my question was rhetorical.
Right. And then, well, what the, and then, yeah.
By the way, the other thing I want to point out with all of these quarterbacks that make us hesitant to like just denounce that they have any chance at all, because there's plenty of evidence that a lot of these guys are not going to make the transition, right? I mean, we've seen it previously. Anecdotal evidence where we go, well, nobody that does those things has made it, is Case Keenum. And what I mean is not that he was a running around guy, but he played in a very college offense, right?
That's right. University of Houston, Jeff.
That's right. And really did nothing. And then all of a sudden did a lot of things. Out of nowhere. Did nothing. No chance. Bum. And then what the hell is Case Keenum doing looking like a Pro Bowl quarterback?
Are these guys going to win the Super Bowl?
Right. So when you see that, you're going, well, I don't know. You go back to if you're at the right place with the right guy.
They would have been the favorite, too. I mean, not the betting favorite. The Patriots, I believe, were. But if they made it, it would have been the same deal.
I mean, think about that. That guy floating around that league, nearly out of it.
Everywhere. You could have had him. Anybody could have had him.
Yeah. Ridiculous. All right, so Charlie Campbell going to join us next hour. We'll spend most of the hour with him. WalterFootball.com. Going to break it down the upcoming draft tonight. As always, another reminder, Bumpus tonight. We'll be there watching the draft. Hope you can join us.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
07. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. You're thinking about purchasing a car in the next 6 months. Now is the time. Today through May 1st. You heard about Nissan's fiscal year end in March? Well, Kraft Nissan set another year-end record, and we were awarded a special allocation of vehicles. Some remain, and guess what this means to you? The factory is giving us something that has never been offered before. Not anywhere, not anytime. It is Employee Pricing Plus. It's simple. Browse our lot and find the car of your choice. Kraft Nissan will show you in black and white what the total discount is. That's right. First we give you the employee price, then we show you the total discount under this unheard of program. And if you owe more than your car is worth, Employee Pricing Plus with prices under invoice is your answer to getting that new car you want today. Please note that Kraft Nissan's unlimited time and unlimited mileage lifetime warranty is also included in each new vehicle sold through this exclusive offering. It's Employee Pricing Plus now through May 1st, and it will not be repeated. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. And remember, you don't see the Kraft tag on your car, you paid too much, way too much.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Ace Buy One Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
I have known for some time now that some insurance companies are not exactly being truthful with their customers, stating such things as if you do not use one of their approved body shops, they will not guarantee the repairs, or it may cost you more out of pocket. Here at Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, the work we do is guaranteed for as long as you own your vehicle. Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, 385-2665.
License number MP46050.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online. ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. You're online, by the way. It's ESPNTallahassee.com. If you miss portions of the program and you want to go get caught up, remember, we'll post all 3 hours to our website, ESPNTallahassee.com, and the archive.io. We also throw it up on iTunes. Thanks for all the kind ratings there on iTunes. Please share with your friends. Certainly helps disseminate the greatness of the Jeff Cameron Show to the masses when you do so. By the way, you can email us if you like, JCS at 979 ESPN Radio if you'd like. Appreciate those emails. Still catching up on some of those. Always good fodder from you guys. On Twitter, at J Cameron Show, also at 979 ESPN Radio. If you want to Periscope, if you want to watch us on YouTube, you can. It's ESPN Tallahassee. When you get to YouTube, you can watch us perform our duties there. And the WTSM app is free for your mobile devices. Tonight is the NFL Draft. We look greatly forward to this all year long, and it is one of the few things that the NFL pushes in excess that actually doesn't bother me. Now, most things I get annoyed with from all leagues when they shove it down your throat, or networks for that matter. But not the draft. I actually eat it up. I'm like a little kid with this stuff. I like all the mocks. Now, I make fun of the mocks, especially when they involve fake trades and people acting as if they're real and yelling at each other on network shows, because that's just buffoonery. So that's where my limit is pushed to. But I do enjoy reading all the write-ups, the difference of opinions, especially when those are informed opinions. That's all you can do. This is an inexact science. And one of the guys that I really enjoy hearing from and reading his material every year is a guy we've watched grow. I'd like to think we've been a part of it, but he's his own man. And that's Charlie Campbell of WalterFootball.com. We always do a long form. If you're a regular on this show, you know, you listen to this show. We started out with Charlie back when he was with the Bucks and just covering the Bucks. And we liked some of his work as a writer. And Tom and I thought, as a flyer, let's give him a call and see how he does on radio. And admittedly, Charlie, I say this lovingly, he was geeky, but it was earnest, and you knew he did the work.
Yeah, it was always backed up and rooted in something that somebody said. It was never speculation.
Right, and I appreciated that. And then when he graduated to doing stuff for the league and really looking at the draft almost year-round. You know, Charlie goes to the Senior Bowl, and he goes to these various events where he gets an opportunity to sit down with scouts and NFL guys and coaches and the like, and he's fostered those relationships. And that's why we've continued to have him back on. We know it's not just reckless speculation, but rather something rooted in something that he's heard and researched and really been meticulous in his efforts to bring forward. So he's going to join us in mere seconds. I don't talk long in this opening segment because I want to make way for him. We usually do 20, 30 minutes with him. We did talk to Charlie earlier today. I want to make that point that we talked to Charlie mid-afternoon around lunchtime. So if you think anything's dated, you know, there might be a couple references. I can't remember. We did have a good long talk. But if that's the case, that's why that was. I don't want you to think this is right now, but it was just a few hours ago. And he was great as always. And certainly I'm excited.
I wonder why. But yes, there's one guy that Charlie has been pointing to the Buccaneers of Tampa Bay for some time now, and that was Derwin James. And you're hearing a lot of people now jump aboard that train this last week. In fact, Derwin saying to some media outlet, well, if the Cowboys want me, they're going to have to trade up ahead of the Bucs at 7 in order to get me. But that's all contingent upon, you know, everybody else that the Bucs want being off the board. So will they be off the board? That's the question.
Let's find out next when we hear from Charlie Campbell at WalterFootball.com on a Get Me Excited Draft Thursday. We'll be at Bumpa's tonight watching the draft. Come join us. It's on Capitol Circle. It's the old CJ's. Great drink specials, gazillion television, beautiful evening for it. The doors will be open so the deck and the wind crossblow. Woo! Doing some things.
Time
all
for
right,
a
all
pretzel.
right. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You've been waiting all week for that pretzel. Good times.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Tee it up at the Edwin Watts Golf Demo Day, happening this Friday from noon till 4 at Killearn Country Club. Get custom fit by vendor reps from Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, Cleveland, Ping, Bushnell, and Wilson staff. And while you're there, register to win a $500 shopping spree. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Demo Day, featuring custom fitting, deals, prizes, and more. This Friday from noon till 4 at Killearn Country Club. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, celebrating 50 years of serving golfers around the country.
Shot, save, rebound, score! The playoffs are here. The Corner Pocket is your home all spring long for all the heart-pounding moments in the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. It's held in a shot, save, rebound, score! The Corner Pocket on Appalachia Parkway next to Earth Fair is your headquarters for Trivia Tuesdays, Beer Bingo Thursdays, and of course, all the moments you'll never forget. For the championship! The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need to help get you back on the road. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now, get CarQuest conventional motor oil for just $2.96 a quart. Talk about an amazing price. Plus, find great prices on CarQuest's full line of motor oil. Go to Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores to take advantage of this great offer while it lasts. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be.
I'm Michael Blank, an attorney with the Personal Injury Law Office of Jose R. Fernandez. If you get into an accident, call 1-855-HOSE-305. That's 1-855-HOSE-305. We don't get paid until you do. Se habla español. Offices Tallahassee and Miami.
Major League Soccer is back, and Tallahassee's premier viewing location is Finnegan's Wake Irish Bar. Cheer on your favorite MLS club at Tallahassee's only pub with an authentic Irish bar. Watch matches while you drink from Tallahassee's largest selection of Irish whiskey, or enjoy a pint from their wide selection of imported drafts. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's is open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Come join it for a pint, a match, and more stories.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Get right to it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. We bring him in every year at this time. Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com. But today's a busy day for this guy, so the fact that he even makes time for us is always appreciated. Charlie, how are you, brother? Good to talk to you again.
Good to talk to you, Jeff. Happy draft day.
Happy draft day indeed. I hear the excitement in your voice, and I can tell that's one of the many reasons you enjoy doing what you do. It all culminates on this day. And are you like a kid at Christmas? You can't wait to see if all that hard work turns out to pay off and that you're spot on? I know you know. Let me ask you this. I've never asked you this before, and I'm kind of curious. When you have to produce as many mocks as you do, and that's just one element of your job, but when you do that, do you get disappointed if something goes really sideways, if something happens where a player that has never been mentioned associated with a team goes there, or if, you know, you thought, I got duped by some false information, or because this is what happens. It's the funny time and crazy reports come out. Does that ever disappoint you?
Yeah, the few times I've got some false information, that does not sit well with me at all. And otherwise, I definitely prefer, like last year when I had the most picks right of anyone. I mean, that was a lot better feeling than other years when I was in the middle of the pack. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean a whole lot, you know. But I think that, you know, it's fun to see how it unfolds. And to me, when we actually get to the draft, it's great because you see these teams' future unfolding in front of you. You see the end of careers as well. There's just so much change, and it's really Christmas Day for the NFL fans. It's not like the Super Bowl where you only have two teams going and one team's fans are happy, the other are heartbroken, and the other 30 fans are like, well, I hope this game entertains me. You know, at the draft, everyone is getting better. Everyone's getting some hope for the future. So I think that with even teams that don't have a first-round pick that are getting picks in the mid-rounds or don't have mid-round picks but have a first-round, they're still getting new players that can help their team and potentially become building blocks for the long term.
Do you enjoy it like a fan does? Can you?
Yeah, I do. I definitely enjoy watching it, seeing the picks come off the board, interacting with team people during the draft when they're surprised about stuff. Some of them will let me know who they're going to pick before it goes up on the screen, and so it's a lot of fun for me. It's busy, of course, as you can imagine. I'm writing a lot, but it's still a lot of fun. It's a thrill. And it's exciting to see kind of after all the months and the lead up and all the back and forth of who's rising and falling and who might go where, to actually see reality unfold, to me, is fun. I really enjoy that.
Will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers send you their pick prior to their actual draft number?
I don't know.
I'm asking for a friend.
No, I mean, I can text them when, because the teams can often be a little bit ahead of what's on TV with the picks they're submitting to the league. So I can text them and see if I can get it beforehand. I haven't tried, but I wouldn't be surprised if this year is like last year where the Bucs end up having someone that people don't really expect fall into their lap.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to get to that in a second. And as I recall, we still have each other's number, Charlie. So I'm just saying.
Don't worry.
You never know. We're just talking aloud here. All right. So I'm going to begin. Obviously, we're here in Tallahassee. We have to go through the Florida State guys. Derwin James, first-round pick. Everybody knows that. He's associated with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if some of those other guys that they could use are off the board. And I labeled those guys, Charlie, as Quentin Nelson, who I desperately want Tampa to draft, but I don't think they really care what I want. But he may be gone. Chubb's a guy that they could show interest in, and Saquon Barkley's another guy who, if he was there. But at this point, do you think those three gentlemen, any one of those three guys, is going to be there when the Bucs pick at 7?
I have the Bucs taking Quentin Nelson. I have him getting there. I think Barkley is definitely a goner. I think Chubb is probably 70, 80% chance he's gone, maybe even higher than that. But I have Nelson being the Bucs pick. I think he can get there, and I think it isn't that hard because there are these teams that want to move up for quarterbacks. I think you have at least 3 quarterbacks going in the top 5, maybe 4 in the top 6 with trades here, and then I think that's going to push Nelson to the Bucs. And I think that is very real chance, very likelihood is really there for that to happen, and the Bucs could end up getting a plug-and-play starter at guard that's really going to help give them a running game next year, improve their pass protection for Jameis. And I think Quentin Nelson could go down as maybe the best Bucs offensive lineman in team history if they get him. I think he could be a kind of a Paul Gruber-esque player for Tampa Bay.
I'm going to choke up, Charlie. I am just so damn excited by what you have reported here today. I surely hope this happens. But if it does happen, Charlie, that means that Derwin James falls, because I don't think you have him going before 7. So
no.
You would have him falling to where?
I'd have him going. I know a lot of teams that like him, and like San Francisco, Oakland likes him a lot. I think Green Bay really likes him. So in that range, still in the top 15, I think he'll end up going. I think the very lowest maybe would be 17 to the Chargers, but I don't think he gets there. I think he's going to go, in that 7 to 14 range, somewhere in there. I think Green Bay would be thrilled if Derwin fell to them.
Talking with Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com, his latest mock ahead of the NFL draft tonight, round 1, which we'll be watching over at Bumpa's. If you want to swing by and enjoy the draft party with us, feel free to do so. Great drink specials, great food, great atmosphere, tons of TVs. Charlie, I'm curious because this is an interesting year in that for Florida State fans, and I'm going to address these players first. We'll get back to the big picture stuff in a moment. But another guy that I'm really interested to hear what you're hearing about, because I could see where teams would be scared to death of him, and I could see where teams would have been wowed by his workouts. And I'm talking about Josh Sweat, defensive end here at Florida State, a guy that, frankly, in Tallahassee, primarily set the edge, was not a dynamic pass rusher. The last time you and I talked, I noted that I worried about his get-off. He was not that quick off the line, so I wondered how productive he'd be as a pass rusher. He's great against the run, and then he goes out and runs whatever he runs, which blew everybody away, and he showed an explosiveness that he never really showed here. But there are those concerns. There is the film. There is the knee injury and all of that. Where would you have Josh Sweat going? Could he go in the second round?
Yeah, I have him going at the top of the 3rd round. So
okay.
I think he could go in the 2nd round. I think, the teams like the skill set on him, and they have, going back to the scouts who do advanced work for the next year's draft class. I remember them talking about the skill set he had and the athletic potential he had and really what he was coming out of high school. But the knee and the issues he had practicing at Florida State, a lot of teams viewed him as a one-contract player in the NFL. They thought he's just going to be an instant kind of player but wouldn't have a long career because of that knee issue. And so I think that's the real issue that hurts him, even though he showed some freaky athleticism and speed in the workouts. But I think also, just not producing a big season of sack production also is something that holds him back. But I think with, teams needing edge rushers, needing edge defenders, this isn't a strong draft for one. He stands a good shot of going in that middle of day 2 area, 2nd, 3rd round.
Derek Nottie, big man in the middle, 4th round, 5th round, 3rd round. What say you?
Yeah, I'd say mid-rounds. I think the highest he could go, I think he could sneak into the 2nd day of the draft, potentially late in the 3rd round. I think 4th round is pretty safe. I think 5th round may be the lowest he would fall, so in that 3 to 5 range. And I know teams were grading him in the middle of the draft. They liked the strength at the point of attack, his run defense ability to cause some disruption at the point of attack. So he has admirers around the league. So I think some team that could use some nose tackle help, he's going to be in play for late in the 3rd, likely 4th rounder.
Charlie, Auden Tate was, in essence, a big receiver, possession receiver here at Florida State. Great target in the red zone. Nobody thought that he would post a fast 40 time, and he didn't. Yet the league over the years has had any number of receivers that have good hands, big bodies, understand how to shield, how to utilize, how to high point, productive in the red zone, big on 3rd downs, and don't run fast 40 times and still make an impact. Some of the greatest receivers of all time, in fact, 4.6, 4.7. We've seen that happen. So how much damage did Auden Tate do with that 4.69, and what do teams think of him? Where do you have him going? I guess just to give me a guesstimate about the round.
Well, I think basically similar to Nottie, 3rd to 5th round, somewhere in there. I like Auden Tate. I think he's a real mismatch weapon at the NFL. I mean, there are few cornerbacks that can handle that kind of size. And I think you go back to week 1 of the college football last year, you see him making a
touchdown Alabama,
over Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's, going to be going high in this draft. And Minkah's an excellent player, but there's 6'5" is just 6'5", and that's just a mismatch for any defensive back. So to me, that he brings that to the table, that red zone threat, that guy that can go up and get you those fade touchdown passes, really tough to cover down there. So I definitely think there's a role for him in the NFL, and that kind of player, even though they might not go high, they can end up providing real value for a team because they are point producers and they do give that mismatch weapon that a lot of teams could use, because you do have a lot of teams that don't have a receiver like that on their roster.
Combination of bad film and a horrific 40 time may have really doomed Tavares McFadden to fall pretty far in this draft, given where he was once projected after his great first season in Tallahassee as a starter. Where do you have Tavares McFadden falling? Does he go to the 4th, 5th round?
I think it's likely he does, yeah. I think he's going to go early in the 3rd day. The bad film definitely hurt him. The Miami game, how that ended there with him giving up that touchdown on a play that really is a big corner he needs to make. That was kind of the him and a microcosm for a lot of this past season. So I think that the bad film, not running well, being a bigger corner, you have to, then the question comes in, does this guy need to move to safety? And when you have that question, that always hurts prospects as to what his position is going to be. Is he going to be able to work out and make the adjustment in the NFL at that new position? So when you have all that combined, it definitely leads to a guy sliding. So I think day 3 is probably where he ends up.
By the way, and they're not even close to a similar player, but that same sort of criticism or concerns about what he'll play at the next level is applicable to Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've been told by several people that there are concerns in the NFL that he's not a safety, but rather a corner. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard some say they feel the best thing he does is cover slot receivers. So being kind of that nickel corner is really his best role for the NFL. But he is versatile to do other things. So I think, the idea is we're just going to use this guy in a variety of ways and move him around, but playing that nickel corner is maybe his biggest strength.
Matthew Thomas may not get drafted. Not a lot to love about the tape on Matthew Thomas. He is an athlete. Special teams could play a role. Maybe they figure they could fix him, the linebacker out of Florida State. Do you think he gets drafted, or is he a UFA?
I think he could get drafted late as a teams player because, as with his speed and his size, that really portends well to him being a special teams player. Kind of like Dakota Watson coming out of Florida State that went to the Bucs, and he's managed to kind of bounce around and have a career in the NFL mainly because he's valuable on special teams. And so I could see Matthew Thomas sticking if he really commits himself to being the best possible special teams player he can be and trying to be a special teams demon. Then I think he could stick in the NFL because special teams, they love guys with that kind of mix of some size and speed and ability to get downfield quickly. So to me, that's his role. And then backup linebacker, he'll see if he can take advantage of any kind of injury or opportunity. But being a teams guy is really how he's going to have to make it in the NFL.
Final two guys, and then I'll get to the meat and potatoes, and I'll let you go. But Ryan Izzo, two Ryans, Ryan Green and Ryan Izzo. A lot of Florida State fans really rooting. Well, they're rooting for both, but they'd really root for Ryan Green, a guy who got moved all around here a gazillion times by Jimbo Fisher, asked to play a different roles, always did so selflessly. But whenever he got an opportunity to tote the rock, run the football, he looked like he could start for the vast majority of teams in this league. Looked like a guy that would start most all over the country. I think he has real ability. Tom and I have talked about this for years. He just came to a place where, frankly, they had so many good running backs, including Dalvin Cook. What were you going to do? But at the same time, I know that there are some teams, including Tampa Bay, that like him. Might he sneak into this draft?
He might. I do know teams that have posted him, and teams have lobbied him as far as kind of putting a early recruiting pitch onto him if he goes undrafted. So you're right on. They see the flash and the talent there as well in terms of being a backup that can also contribute on special teams as well. So I think he has a shot at going in the 7th round, but if he doesn't go, I think he'll have a strong market of options for teams to choose to sign as an undrafted free agent. And really, that can be better for a player because they can look at a depth chart and pick a team that they have a better shot of sticking with rather than if they get drafted in the 7th round, they have no control where they go. So he may end up, being better off going undrafted.
And then the other one, Izzo, Ryan Izzo, tight end. Does he get drafted? I had him going. I mean, not that I'm a draft guru like you, but I had him going late, like 6th or 7th round. Does that seem accurate to you?
Yeah, I think he could go in there. This isn't a great tight end draft, and there are a lot of teams that could use one. So I think he definitely has a shot of going late.
All right, meat and potato stuff. I am of the opinion, and you tell me if you agree, as well as what you've heard from NFL folks. I'm of the opinion that Rosen is far and away the best quarterback in this draft, just in terms of the skill set that translates to the league. If he gets an offensive line that's even decent and gives him a modicum of time from the pocket, I think he's the best quarterback. Now, I know that's not everybody's opinion. I'm curious what you think, and then also, moreover, I'm curious what NFL guys have told you about what Cleveland's going to do. We'll start there. Do they go with Saquon Barkley, or do they take a quarterback at number 1?
Well, with Rosen, I think I agree with you. He's the best pure pocket passer in this draft class, and the ball explodes out of his hand, throws a great spiral. I definitely think he, in terms of being ready to step in and play, he's the most pro-ready to start a game tomorrow. I think what hurts him is the questions on the personality, the mesh in the NFL, his locker room leadership, and then also durability with the concussions and the shoulder. Being a pocket guy, he's going to take some shots. So that's what I think the combination of the personality and the durability is what's going to cause other quarterbacks to go ahead of him. And then as far as the Browns go, I'm hoping to get further information on that. But right now, I think it's likely to be either Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen to them at the number 1 pick. But I'm hoping to get more stuff. So if you check back to Walter Football in the final hours before the draft, I'm hoping to have up there who they're going to actually take.
You are a champion. Look at you. You've become so smooth over the years, Charlie. That is so well done. WalterFootball.com, folks, is what he's talking about. You're going to want to check back just before the draft and look at Charlie Campbell's latest mock. I have to tell you, Charlie, if that happens, if the Browns take Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield, tell me you're not going to laugh. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
I understand, and to me, even beyond that, I mean, if one of them goes to the Jets, you would have the 6th overall pick and 3 second-round picks invested in Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen. That's pretty scary to me, to make that kind of commitment to one of those 2 quarterbacks. That when you passed on Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes last year without having to give up any picks for those guys, that is a scary situation for me if I'm the Jets GM, Mike McCagnon.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts if Baker Mayfield goes to New York. I mean, I don't have anything against the kid, save for some issues that I have when regarding 6 feet tall and the offense that he played in and all that. But wow, that just doesn't strike me as a good marriage. I am curious why, if you're by the way, go back to Cleveland for a second. That means they would have to really believe that Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield is a guy that you cannot afford to pass on, because you could just take Saquon Barkley at 1 and then whichever of the quarterback remains go there at 4, and at least at 1 you got a guy that you can pencil in on day 1 that's probably going to be a good player.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I were the Browns. To me, if I'm the Browns GM, my decision is either Sam Darnold at 1 or Saquon Barkley at 1, and then I'm taking a quarterback like Rosen or Mayfield or Josh Allen at 4, because to me that's just the safer route to go, and you get the best player in the draft and a guy who's going to make a big difference for that quarterback. But with all the hype around the Giants taking Saquon Barkley, you can't have any confidence he's going to get to that pick at 4. So
right.
To me, the Browns, if I were running that team, I'd take Barkley, and then I'd probably be looking at Josh Rosen at 4.
And that's a home run. It's a home run, Charlie. If that
I'd rather
happens,
have Rosen than Allen or Mayfield.
You're damn right you would. You know what you're doing, buddy. That's right. That's a good call. Hey, by the way, so I got to ask you, how is it now? I desperately want Quentin Nelson. How does he fall to Tampa Bay? Are you telling me the Colts are going to go defensive back? What are the Colts going to do, and what's Denver doing?
I think the Colts trade out. I think they're going to move back with Arizona or Buffalo, so a quarterback goes 6.
Okay.
And now with Denver, I've heard that Denver has other guys rated ahead of Nelson, including Bradley Chubb. They would take Chubb if he gets there, and they wouldn't trade out. I've also heard they really like Denzel Ward a lot, and they take him over Nelson as well.
So you're confident, Charlie. You're telling me you're confident this is going to happen.
I am, yeah, based on what I've heard from people at Denver, and they were the ones who told me to put Garrett Bowles to them in my mock last year. So they were proven right there. So I think there's a very good chance they pass on Nelson. They just don't value a guard that high. And I think for Dirk Cutter and Jason Light, who are sitting on the hot seat, getting Quentin Nelson at 7 and then getting a running back
yes.
In the second round, that's the way to save your job.
It's also the deepest position in the draft, running back this year, isn't it? I mean, you could get, seriously.
Great value there.
Yeah, you're going to get a top-notch player early in the second at the position of need. This is a home run if it happens, Charlie. I'm coming down there, and I'm going to buy you a beer. We're going to do
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. I need one after this weekend, I can tell you.
Well, I'm going to ask you that question. I have 2 questions, and you're free, and I won't bother you for a while other than when you send me that text tonight about who the Bucs are going to draft. but let me just ask you this. There are some guys that are polarizing. We already discussed one of them in Baker Mayfield. I don't think Lamar Jackson can play. Now, obviously, he was a great college quarterback, and that's great. And I have nothing against him personally, and if he makes it, that's wonderful. But there are people who think that there will be folks attempting to trade up to get him. They believe in him, and that, maybe if he's able to sit behind somebody for a couple of years. To me, ideally, a guy like that would go somewhere like New Orleans where he could sit behind a Drew Brees and learn a little bit and spend some time and not feel pressure right off the bat and have a good head coach and then mature into a starting quarterback in the league. What is your thought on what teams think of, and what is your opinion of Lamar Jackson?
I like Lamar. I think that, you have to cater the offense to him. You can't draft him and put him into, say, what Eli Manning has run or Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Drew Brees even. I think if you draft him, you have to change your offense to suit him and run some of the plays Louisville ran and put in spread concepts and RPOs and things like that. And I think if you do that, I think he could have some success. And then I think the question, though, is it sustained success or is it going to in injuries involved? Is he going to have issues like RG3 where he doesn't develop beyond that and it's just a short-term success? Or even Deshaun Watson last year was excellent for Houston and then he gets hurt. So to me, those are the kind of pitfalls with Lamar. But I wouldn't be surprised if just because NFL teams are so poor at defending a lot of those RPOs last year when Houston was running those, it looked like those guys, were completely lost, which is surprising considering they were in college football not that long ago, and it's not a new deal there. But to me, if you put him in that, he can have some success, but will it be sustained success and can he stay healthy? Big question marks. And he needs a ton of work on his feet. His footwork throws the accuracy off and really kind of takes away some of the natural arm strength that he actually has. So he's a definite project. And you're absolutely right. Going to the Saints, a team where he can sit and develop for a few years would be the best thing to happen to him.
Charlie, I want to circle back to something you said, a point you made earlier. In years past, we've seen Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter tweet out picks minutes before the commissioner announces to the world who's going. How much earlier does the league get a submission than we know about? And what is the process like with phone calls and paperwork on the draft floor?
Well, it's on the first night of the draft, it isn't as it doesn't get as far ahead of TV as it does over the next few days. It really gets further ahead in the mid rounds and then the late rounds, where the league, the teams doing the draft might be 5, 6, even 10 picks ahead of what has been posted on TV.
Oh wow.
And because the clock runs out, and then they go to commercial and then they announce the pick, or they do some gimmick where they're having a mascot announce the pick and jumping in the Jaguars pool and, something like that. And all that eats up time, but the clock is running in the team's war rooms and they're submitting their picks. So at the beginning of the draft, the first round, it doesn't get there. It's more, right on time. But as we go further along, that it eats away and there ends up being that gap.
Last question for my guest, Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com, the website. Charlie is, I think, the best in the business, and he's joined us for a long time, and I've watched him grow from just covering the Bucs to now the entirety of the league. Puts in the time, does the research. Go check out WalterFootball.com. Charlie Campbell, specifically. very, very good at what he does. I want to note, Charlie, when all of the follow-up work is done and you can close your laptop and turn off your phone, what do? You pour a cold adult beverage or two, and what's your choice? Do you go on vacation? And how soon till you get to do that?
Yeah, I definitely, when the draft ends, I crack open some cold ones, and I light up a cigar, and I just do nothing and do not look at a TV screen or my computer for a few hours at least. And hopefully my phone is quiet. And then vacation I usually hit middle of the summer.
There you go.
But I write so much stuff that'll be rolled out during the summer that you would have no idea. So I jam it out, and I'm still working pretty hard in the month of May, just getting ready for the summer, and even starting next year's draft class, getting familiar with those guys.
I love it, Charlie. You do great work, buddy. Enjoy the draft tonight, and if you see fit to send me a text or two about what the Bucs are about to do, it wouldn't go unnoticed.
I will definitely shoot for it. Hopefully they comply, but I'm trying to get you that inside info. But
I know that's a no. I know that's a no, Charlie. Brother. Take care, man. Be well.
I'm going to try. Take care, brother.
All right, you too. Take care. That's Charlie Campbell, WalterFootball.com. That guy's great. And the reason we've kept having him back is because he works so hard and he cares deeply about getting it right, or at least getting the information out to you. I mean, so many guys just throw things against the wall and hope that it sticks. He's not doing that. The very nature of the beast that we talk about with these mock drafts is that you're going to get some wrong and you're going to get some right, and there's going to be some glaring mistakes and some real home runs. But Charlie, you eliminate sort of the wide-ranging misses and makes, and you get the consistency there from him that I really, really appreciate.
Yeah, he's funnier on the air every year too.
He's loosening up.
Yes,
he's getting there. I'm gonna be his agent before this is all done.
We just need to pay him to, and I'll step aside, to be fake Coach K. He could call in and be Coach K.
He'll be Coach K.
I could do the obvious, Coach K, stuff and impersonations, but Charlie could be your fake Coach K guest.
Well, we could do a segment where you talk to Charlie, and if we arranged it properly, it could be Coach K interviews Coach K. And you guys can go back and forth with questions for one another.
Who do you think's going to go in the second round to Buffalo?
It would be great just to watch that warring back and forth. Who could ask the most anger-inducing question amongst the two?
Yeah. Roy Williams, piece of garbage or piece of crap? Which is closer to the truth?
So there you go. 30 minutes with Charlie Campbell doesn't suck on draft day. Remember, before we come back and wrap it up, that, by the way, we'll be at Bumpa's around 7:30-ish. You want to get there just before that? Please do. Great atmosphere, great food, lots to choose from on the drink menu, and a lot of televisions to take in tonight's draft. We'll be there.
Yeah, the fist pump from one Jeff Cameron is coming in 10 seconds after this music hits.
Come on, man. The guy's he almost wrote it down in ink. Woo! And if it had, you got excited too. I saw it because if it's Quentin Nelson and then running back early second, let's come back and do this. Hey, we plowed through breaks. It's the kind of love we have for you. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
To get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
It's easy to change a room with new carpet. It's even easier with new carpet financing from the Home Depot. With up to 24 months financing on special order installed carpet with your Home Depot consumer credit card. So, make a dramatic change, but make paying for it a little less dramatic. Only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. With credit approval for qualifying purchases made on the Home Depot consumer credit card, not available on the Home Depot Home Improver card. Terms and conditions apply. Exclude services purchased in-home, may not combine with any credit offer.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and red tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. For the first time, the NFL Draft will be held in an NFL stadium in Arlington, Texas, at the home of the Cowboys. 20,000 fans will be there when the draft starts tonight. The Browns hold the number one pick right now, followed by the Giants and the Jets. Our first-round coverage of the draft starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Quarterback prospect Josh Allen is apologizing today for a series of offensive tweets that he sent out when he was in high school. Allen says he was young and dumb. Plenty of quarterbacks available tonight, at least 5 figure to go in the first round. ESPN NFL analyst Matt Hasselbeck.
Josh Rosen is the quarterback that I think is the guy to draft in this draft, especially if you're Cleveland. Now, I've not heard anybody say that Josh Rosen's going to Cleveland, but for Cleveland, you got to think about, okay, who do I know can play at the next level? Who do I absolutely know can be a starter for a long time? And for me, you look at the tape, it's Josh Rosen.
Matt Hasselbeck on Golic and Wingo. Jaguars owner Shad Khan wants to buy Wembley Stadium in London. The Jags have played one regular season game in London each year for the last 5 years. Back in 2013, Khan bought the London soccer club Fulham. In the NBA playoffs, the Celtics and Bucks play Game 6 tonight in Milwaukee. Boston leads that series 3-2. The city of Boston today approved a plan to remove the name Yawkey Way from the street just outside Fenway Park. The street was renamed more than 40 years ago to honor longtime team owner Thomas Yawkey. But with Yawkey in charge, the Red Sox were the last team in baseball to hire a black player. The street will now revert back to its original name, Jersey Street.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
That is a reminder that the Jeff Cameron Show will not be on the air tomorrow as I make my way to, God, it's hard to say aloud, Epcot.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Epcot. It's the I Drive in Orlando thing.
It's the drive to Orlando. It's the dealing with fat people at Epcot. It's the, all of that.
Well, we could go to the former, the Pleasure Island place at Disney. It just sounds weird to say that. But we go live it up with
that
Charlie.
Very special place.
Yeah, we could go live it up with Charlie in the club. Come on, Charlie Campbell. Come on up to the club.
Let's go have a good time, partner. Let's do it. Yeah. No, I know, man. It's hey, listen. It is easier when you know that you're going for the reason that I'm going, which is that you are going for your kids, and so therefore it ain't about you. Shut up, sit in the back, let the kids have some fun. It's easier to take that way if you just keep reminding yourself. You're making a lasting memory for children.
Right. And for me, I'll be doing something selfless, too. I will be golfing for Florida State scholarships in the Tallahassee area.
Well done, sir. That's normally a tournament that I golf in with you, and I always look forward to it. This year, just a little quirk in our schedule, so couldn't do it. So good on you for doing so, and I hope you hit them well.
No, thank you very much. And while I'm doing so, once again, I can't stress this enough. My day off is not a day off. I'm serving the community for scholarships.
That's what you do.
For Florida State University.
By the way, I should also note that, I bought new clubs recently. I would have loved to have played with those this weekend with you tomorrow at where are you guys playing? You're playing at
Capital City.
Capital City, yeah. I would have loved to have done that for the same cause. But in the interim, I should let you know that the fine folks over at Edwin Watts, where I was, they said they can't wait to see you. They know you're ready for some new clubs yourself.
Really? So. Am I? You tell me.
They said, come on over. All right, probables, here we go. Let's get to it.
Really?
For those of you that don't care about football, you need some sort of hope to latch on to, and that hope is going to be baseball, as it so often is. Fire away.
It's time for, with the pitching, probables?
I'm ready for this to be done. I'm done with this song. There you go. Yeah, let's move it on down the road. There we go. It's warming up enough to just make the move. Seattle, Cleveland, James Paxton, Mike Clevenger. Tom's good buddy, Mike Clevenger, on the hill tonight for Cleveland. We got Tampa Bay and Baltimore, Chris Archer, Dylan Bundy, Red Sox, Jays, Chris Sale, Marco Estrada, good matchup there. Brewers, Cubs, Chase Anderson and Kyle Hendricks. White Sox, Royals, Lucas Giolito, Jacob Junis. Fun name to say. And that's a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
You can sit around and wait for the phone to ring
at the end of the line.
One more time to note that the NFL Draft, it's on these airwaves starting at 7 o'clock. So if you're driving to Bumpus and you want to hear the lead up, or you're leaving Bumpus,
that's right,
go home because you're a reasonable person at 10 o'clock at night.
Happens.
Hey, we got the draft for you right here.
All right, so that's a good thing, and should be noted that hopefully you will make your way out and enjoy the draft with us. Looking forward to seeing you guys have fun tonight, and thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of it all. And Tom, good job. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Oh, yeah. Sure thing, buddy.
Good work, Matthew. We may be celebrating together, buddy. We will hoist a tall, cold one in celebration of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers drafting Quentin Nelson. If it doesn't happen, I may need to be consoled.
Well, if it does, then I'll be sure to have a $3 domestic bottle or a 75-cent wing.
Bam.
There you go.
Just like that. If you don't know, once again, Bumpus is off of Capitol Circle. It is the old Calico Jack, CJ's. You can't miss it. Big sign, cool rotating sign. Bumpus Local 349 right there as you pass it by on Capitol Circle. All right, good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back with you on Monday.